As it is written, the kingdom is within us. Come together and discuss the issues within the kingdom. Speak your peace. Speak the truth. For the kingdom is at hand. Kingdom Conversations.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings to the whole house, to the kingdom of the Israelites, the number one superpower to be, according to the dry bones, the book. Somebody get the precept where somebody asked the question. Somebody asked something. Can these dry bones live? And dry bones, yes, they can live. Because the Father stood them up. He stood them up this day, 2022. Dry bones done stood up. Muscles is on the dry bones. The eyes probably got in the dry bones first. Because you going back, running back to your culture, claiming your culture, that means that you could see something. Now you got muscles on you. You need your skin, you need your nervous system, you need your brain. You need to get your mind renewed, though. Israelites need a lobotomy. Yes, sir. Why do the Israelites need a lobotomy, brother? See, because they was running around in Buddhism and Islam and Christianity. Now they done come to their culture, but they didn't need to believe what the book says. That's why. You need to have a lobotomy if you don't believe what the book say. Put a one up if you believe the book. Put a one up if you believe the book and what the book says. Greetings to you, family. Father, we thank you. We thank you once again. We give you all honor, glory, and praise because you are due all of our honor, glory, and praise. We ask that you witness to these people through the brothers in the chat and sisters in the chat and to the brothers on the panel. And we ask that whatever is shared amongst the family, that we do like the book says, and we renew our mind and get our mind renewed. Not only that, Father, we are looking forward to the blessings that you said and the things that you said in Deuteronomy chapter 30. We are looking forward to those things. And we want this to be a testament to not only our brothers and sisters who are Israelites, but a testament and a testimony to those of our brothers and sisters who are not Israelites. And then lastly, a damnation and a testament and a testimony against Psalms 83 and all those that touch the apple of your eye. Father, we thank you and we praise you. Father, we also thank you for sending the Ruach HaKodesh. We also thank you for sending your son, Mashiach, the first fruits, the firstborn, the light that was called before anything that was called. We thank you for sending him, and we thank him for doing the work that he did to reconcile us back to you. Father, we thank you and we praise you. Brother Hal, how you doing, brother? What's going on?
Praise Yah, amen. Love that prayer, Brother Cleo. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All my family in the chat, and good to be with you guys again. Excited about tonight. Let's get it rolling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So before we get it rolling, I have to do like how I normally do. I have to greet the family. Before I greet the family, I have to say what I always say. You guys could have been anywhere. You could have been watching the NBA is in full swing right now. You definitely could have been. All cities is playing, so city near you, you should be watching it. You could be watching the Kanye West fiasco, which if you are calling yourself under the Israelite culture, we did say that that whole thing with Kanye was bigger than what it was. The man that went from 7 billion, now they say he only worth 400 million. Next thing you know, they gonna say he worth 50 cents on a bag of Doritos. We praise the Father. Thank the Father. They listen. This is these people's system, and so what needs to happen is Israel need their own system.
Mm.
Point blank. Period. And guess what? You know what's fascinating? Israel's gonna get their old system, and then everybody gonna ultimately have to dovetail into that system according to the book. But I could see how the Father's moving with all of these different channels of Israelite thought and Israelite information. The Father got that rocking out for a reason. Now, I will submit this to the family before I call y'all out. You are here for a reason, and it's not by happenstance and it's not by accident. Everybody that's here on the panel, the brothers that's not here, and the brothers that's been here, shout out to all the Salt of the Earth brothers, the ones that's not here and the ones that's always here. But you guys are here for a reason. Now, it would behoove you to, as you get information, and it doesn't have to be the information that we put out, but as you get information, family, incorporate it into your life. It's very, very important because I have an idea how the Father is moving, even amongst all the Israelites' information. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's painting an awesome mosaic to whereas no one channel or no one group of entities or individuals have all the information. But if you take all of the information and you put this together, it's a beautiful puzzle piece. I mean, it's not a puzzle piece, but it's a beautiful puzzle. You can imagine it as the most wonderful tapestry ever seen ever seen by man. So I'm going to go ahead and greet the family, starting from the top down, like we normally do. Shalom to Aliyah Yasha Allah, the mighty lion. Peace and blessings to you, brother. Hope you are well. My good brother Jason Philip McCauley, Psalms 115, 13 through 15. He will bless them that fear the Elohim, both small and great. Verse 14, the Father shall increase you more and more, you and your children. All praises to that. Bless your name, Father, for that word. Verse 15, ye are blessed of the Father which made heaven and earth. The Father created and spoke heaven and earth into existence. He spoke time and everything into existence. And so according to this word, he is going to be the one to increase his children. And according to Deuteronomy 30, we will no longer be the tail, but we will at some point be the head. So I appreciate that, brother. Shalom to you and thank you. My good brother Donovan Ben Yehuda, peace and blessings to you, brother. Good seeing you. Hope all is well with you. My great sister Maria Yakita, y'all call her great because she's what do you call a swordsman? A swordsman. What do you call a female that's a swordswoman? Okay, so she's an awesome swords woman, if we could say that. Jeremiah 30 and 10. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant of Jacob. He talking to you, fam. He talking to you when he said, "Oh, fear not." He don't want you to fear no civil war. He don't want you to fear what's happening in the Ukraine or anywhere else on the earth. We're supposed to be about the Father's business. We are supposed to be doing the Father's will. O my servant Jacob, saith the Yahuwah, neither be dismayed. So don't worry about what you see, fam. O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. The Father looking off wherever he's sitting at, and he talking about he gonna save us. And not only is he gonna save us, he goes on to say, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. So we're gonna be saved out of this place. This place can be burning down to hell. And guess what? The Israelites is going to be the last man standing on any land where they at. Because he done dispersed us all over this earth. Read the rest of that precept. Jacob shall return. We're gonna go to our land and shall be in rest and be in quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Can you imagine that, family? If you have a chance to not only be at rest and be quiet, and you're not worrying about somebody looking at you for your skin color or your hair or your lips or your brown eyes, or if you got different color eyes, not to discriminate. And people are not looking at you, judging you, thinking in their mind that you're a certain way, when if you're allowed to do that, what you can build and what you can accomplish, that's a scary thing, because I would hate to see a thousand Israelites get together and nobody messing with them. Now, I wouldn't hate it. I have to be honest. The world would hate that, because you know why? What would come out of that information exchange, um, according to what the book say, when the book say where two or more are gathered in my name, if we got a thousand Israelites together, men and women, and you set them on an island, the island of misfit toys, man, the stuff that would come out of that place would be earth revolutionary to the earth. So shalom to you, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Appreciate those precepts. Omaya Yakita, shalom, sis. Peace and blessings, all as well. And you need to get saved, you and your sister both, but that's a different conversation altogether. Jason Camfor, shalom, brother. Peace and blessings to you, brother. Hope all is well with you. A business approach to life, my brother Jabroni, just a frame of thought. We need to change our frame of thought and how we're approaching things, and it's really about organizing your thoughts, really. And we'll get into it in a little bit, bro. Ticey Roland, shalom, fam. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well with you today. Hope the Father is keeping you. Michelle Y, peace and blessings, sis. Shalom, shalom. Hope all is well. My brother Jimmy Gilliam. Boy, can't you read, brother? See? Jimmy Gilliam, peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you for your people. Linda Rick, shalom, peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well. Cavity Creek, good evening. Good evening to you, brother. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you are well. LNL Israel, shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well. My good brother Rome Me, shalom, brother. Peace and blessings. Hope you are well. Hope the Father's keeping you. My good sister Sharon. Oh, where did I see Sharon? I saw you in the last show yesterday. You was kicking up a fuss, and you need to get saved too, because you was saying too much stuff that makes sense. And when you say too much stuff that makes sense, I'm gonna put you in the Kanye bag and say that you need to get saved. Yes, sir, ma'am. You need to get saved. So that's what it is. So let me scroll down and see if I can see any more of the family that's done joined in and jumped on. My good sister, unorthodox daughter of Zion. Peace and blessings, sis. Shalom. Hope all is well. Deja vu. Shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope the Father's keeping you and blessing you. My sister Maria M. Shalom again, King at Jason Camfor. Shalom to you, sis. Hope you are well and hope all is well with you. Let me see the sisters say 2017, I came in the know. All praise to the Father that you came in to know. The Ruach, the Father sent the Ruach to you and said, I want that young lady to know who she is. He did that on an individual basis with all of us. It wasn't just the whole Israel. He said, I'll pour out my spirit on all flesh. You would not have got that had the Spirit not revealed that to you. Peace and blessings to you, sis. All praises. Let me read this right here. Family, pray for me. I just feel a little sad for the last 2 days. Don't know why, but I've been blessed with my own land on 9/9/22. Next is my house. All praise to you, sis. And that's a blessing to be able to have your own land, because at some point you could probably have your own food. You have your own food, then you will be definitely self-sufficient, right? And so that's always the goal of Israel. And I'll say what my heart is at the end of greeting everybody. And it's my sister Anyana Coleman. Peace and blessings, sis. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. And you another one I see you kicking up fuss on these other channels. Sister, you need to get saved too. Matter of fact, not just the sister. I'm not discriminating against the sister. I'm gonna tell all of y'all in the chat. All of y'all need to get saved in the chat, because now one of y'all saved. I'm telling you right off the rip. Ain't it, Smitty? You ain't saved. My too much shalom to you. You not saved either. Smitty ain't saved. What's up, good brother Smitty? Hope all is well with you, brother. My sister Sarita Hebrew. Peace and blessings, sis. Shalom to you. Hope all is well. Michael Yasharal, shalom fam, shalom to you. And for those of you who are in the chat, do me a favor and greet your other family that's in the chat. Don't discriminate. This is not like you in the church house where we got a certain group of people over here and the high end people who give Trinity offerings and give 30% is in the front row and everybody else is in the back row. No, I want y'all to greet y'all family because this is family. And this is your opportunity to start growing together and start growing with each other. Don't be acting sedity up in here. Go ahead and say what's up to all the family, even if you don't know them. Shalom, Leanne King. Peace and blessings. Hope all is well with you. Let me see. Did we catch everybody? Looked like we caught everybody. Man, that was actually fast. Peace and blessings to everybody. Hey, shalom to you. Shalom to you. You waiting for me to get set? I'm gonna say this. Your brother is he's out of luck. He's completely out of luck. So before I get started, I am going to point the family, and I know we have a lot of new people here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to point everyone to our site, and let me get situated right quick. I'm going to point everyone to our site because today's conversation is really a build up, an extension to some of the other shows that we've done, right? So if you could see my screen, I recommend that if you're new or even if you're not new, if you haven't gone here and gone to the playlist and looked at I believe we have a playlist somewhere, Kingdom Conversations playlist. Clicked on that and that was a mistake, but that's okay. Click on the Kingdom Conversation playlist, and there's a couple of things in there that I'd like brothers and sisters to look at. Let me see if I can get to it another way because the other way is probably a little bit better. Let's see here. Let's see playlist, and I'm going to kill that, and I'm going to say view full playlist. Okay, so I recommend that with the conversation that we're going to have today, if everyone can go back and replay, and I'm going to do it myself too, replay some of these, like this one for instance, Faith Works, Plan and Execute, part 1 and 2. I'd also look at Redeeming the Time, maybe even look at Rapport, Who Do You Believe, and then there's probably another one, Where Is Your Mind. I definitely would look at those because, as I stated earlier, I believe that Israel needs to renew their mind. Now, the renewing of your mind, and somebody get that precept and drop it in, and I'll put it up. We need to renew our mind, and we need to rethink uh, everything, how we've been moving on the earth. Shalom to you, Leanne. If I didn't catch you, Keisha, peace and blessings to you. Hope you are well. Linda Siggers Bay, shalom, peace and blessings to you. We still got folks coming in. If you come in and you shalom even afterwards, I'm gonna shalom you because that's how we do. Sarah Yasharala, peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well. And so you guys, when you guys get a chance, go back and look at those videos. I'm gonna go back and review them for myself. So today's conversation is we're talking about using aspects of a business plan to analyze the approach to life. Now, you guys have been hearing me say that Israel needs a lobotomy, but we do need to rethink how we're approaching life, and we do kind of need to rethink how we're doing things. Why do you say that? The reason why I say that is because according to what the Father says in His Word, the head is going to become the tail, and the tail is going to become the head. I'd like to ask the family, when did you first find out that you were at the bottom of the barrel? Because growing up as a child, I had no concept that our people were at the bottom. When did you find out that you were at the bottom of the barrel in this construct? Brother Najid, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you first, and then the family, you can put your answer in. And as you put your answers in, I'll put them up top. Go ahead, Brother Najid.
Yeah, you know what? So I grew up, I said this before, I grew up in East Harlem, in New York City. And the moment where I discovered that I was on the bottom of the barrel was when I was probably about 16 or 17. And I was thinking back to when I was, a younger kid in the projects in East Harlem. And I was remembering, I was like, yo, they were stuffing crack cocaine in mailboxes to hide them from the cops. And this was done in my building. And every now and then, I'd be downstairs with my mom, open up the mailbox and there'd be vials.
Wow.
There'd be vials in the mailbox. Or, other mailboxes would be busted open. So this was one of the methods that, people around in the neighborhood, some of who I knew pretty well, um, would use to hide, hide crack cocaine from police officers who came around. And it honestly, like, I remember this, and I remember being young, being a teenager, and thinking back to when I was even younger, and thinking, wow, you know what? Like, this was a hell I didn't even realize I was in. So when, like you're saying, brother Cleo, when you're younger, you don't realize, life is life, right? You may, realize things are hard. You may realize your family, doesn't have much money, that kind of thing. But you don't realize the actual hell that you're living in um, until maybe you get a little bit older and you start to think back.
Now I'm going to say this to you, and you're going to appreciate you. You may appreciate this or not, but imagine being asked that question or thinking about that question as you're reading that article that you sent me.
Oh man.
See what
See
I'm
why
saying?
you got to do that, bro?
I'm not gonna say nothing else about it. But that's the kind of that's how I was hit because I'm thinking about all these things because I'm thinking about everything that I'm wrapping up because I'm preparing to have the conversation with the family. And then I
Mhm.
get hit with this. I'm like, oh man. And so, fam, this is a conversation between me and Najee that we had earlier. So I'm gonna keep it moving. I appreciate that, bro, because
Right.
that should shed some light on our plight. You grew
Mhm.
up in Harlem, so you wasn't far from Harlem River Drive, then, right?
Oh no, no doubt. I was mad close. Harlem
Okay,
River Drive is right up for me. I was on 110.
okay. Not that
Yeah,
I know anything about it. The Blackbirds song, they did a song about Harlem River Drive. The Blackbirds. That's Donald
oh
Byrd
yeah,
and them. And for you,
yeah,
for you young stars don't know, go Google Donald Byrd. He played jazz, and the brother was bad. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say what's up to the rest of the family. Stay on fire, shalom to you. Peace and blessings. Here we got another troublemaker, Nature's Graffiti, another troublemaker extraordinaire. Peace and blessings, shalom to you. And this is what I didn't say to the family. What I would normally do, hopefully I do this all the time, is that I hope the Father bless you all immensely and exceedingly beyond your expectations, which I believe that's what's coming to you and you should believe that. I feel a shift is coming and it's coming fast. Yeah, there's a shift coming, and we need to be prepared. Our minds need to be prepared. So let me put up some of the responses to the questions. In your late 30s, you figured it out that we were at the bottom of the barrel. When I left home and went off to college, let's see here. Let me see. We got my brother here, Rome Me, growing up in the ghetto of Pittsburgh when our city became all gang neighborhoods. Is that Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or Pittsburgh on the left coast? Which one, Rome Me? Put that up. Ghettos of Pittsburgh. That's gotta be on the East Coast where the Steelers play at. I don't like the Steelers, bro. Just FYI, because I don't like the immaculate deception. If you get what I'm saying. Anyway, unorthodox daughter of Zion. Grew up in the hood in Dallas, but my childhood was happy. And that's a great comment because I grew up where I grew up and we were dirt poor. We were actually the poorest family in the neighborhood, right? But we didn't I didn't really recognize it until probably elementary school that I realized that my family was on the bottom. But I don't know that I realized we as a people was at the bottom until probably once I graduated high school or somewhere thereabouts, to be honest with you. Some of you were even more fortunate to understand that prior to. Let's see here. Do we have any more responses to that question? Okay, so we've got a lot of good responses to the question. And that question is kind of lining us up and setting us up for this discussion. Now, this discussion is not going to be, I'm gonna let you guys know up front, I'm not coming at anybody with their IPs or anything like that, because this is going to be more of a talk and a discussion amongst the family. And that's what it's going to be, because if we could change our mind and renew our mind and start moving accordingly, then that's going to help us. That's going to help us now, and it's going to help us in the future. Because I ask the question all the time: when you get to the kingdom, and I'm going to do it from a female's point of view, when you get to the kingdom and you're doing something with your husband, if you're married or if you're not married, and you wake up, whether you be male or female, I'm gonna stop doing just a male if I have been. But if you're male or female, you wake up and then you go eat your breakfast. And mind you, we're in the wilderness. And then after you eat your breakfast, you put on your clothes. And then once you put on your clothes and you go to the door and you step outside, what are you going to do? Where are you going? If we're at rest, does that mean that we're going to be sitting down and putting our feet up? Or does that mean we're at rest from our enemies, where we can gather with each other, and we could build with each other, and we can get on that footing where the war scrolls talk about, where we're actually fighting against the nations and rocking them, and Mashiach comes back to break the tie. That's in the war scrolls, for those of you who don't know. And you guys have heard me say it all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let me see. I'm going to click on the hide button to get that out of there. And you guys know sometimes I will do a PowerPoint. And so on this one, I wanted to do a PowerPoint because I felt that it's important for us to start thinking differently and approaching things a little bit differently. Now, what I will say is this: everything is not for everyone. And I'm saying that up front so that if you believe that the information is beneficial to you, and shalom, Lynn, peace and blessings to you. Hopefully it'll be a blessing to you so that you can take pieces of it or not take pieces of it. Hopefully it'll be edifying to the family. So the title of the today's conversation was using aspects of a business plan to analyze the approach to life. Okay. So let me get this off pause. Let's see if we can get moving. Okay, so, and it's really an introspective look, and I want everybody to look at themselves, not look at your neighbor, not look at anybody else. Hold on a second. Okay, bro, I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that, Romy. And so this will be an introspective look at yourself, and I'm going to do this along with everyone else. So it's not like you're doing this yourself or I'm putting anyone on blast or anything. This is going to be for everyone to do. So let's take an introspective look at life components. And the life components are what you see in yellow here. Those things that are in yellow: family, relationships, work, religion, culture, social, and economic. I left out some. I put the few that were close to my mind as I was pulling this presentation together. You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide these. For some, there might be 50. For some, there might be the 11 categories or the 12 categories that you've heard about. And so don't focus so much on that, but focus on the question. How are you managing these aspects of your life currently? So if I were to ask myself that question, how am I managing these aspects of life? Well, that's actually a loaded question. And I hate to ask myself a question with a question, but my question would be, so what do you mean? How am I managing these aspects of life? So let's take one at a time. Let's take family. How do you manage your family relationships? How do you manage the your relationship with your family? How do you manage work? How do you manage your religion? What mechanisms are you doing to do that? Have you been taught how to manage your relationship with family? Obviously, we know what to do when we're at work, I believe. And then what about and notice these two things are next to each other, religion and culture. They're next to each other for a reason, believe it or not. Because some of us, even though we're Israelite, we still have religion because we're still holding on to the tenets of Christianity. And some of us have accepted culture and we're building on our culture. So think about how you are managing these aspects in your life. And there's going to be a recurring theme. But if you're managing these things in your life, who taught you how to manage it? What playbook was used? And so we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, so that question, you can't really answer it until you think about how you were taught to manage it. Then once you figure out the thought of how you were taught to actually manage the components that are still on the screen: family relationships, work, religion, culture, social, and economic. So if I were to ask the family, how were you taught to manage those things? What methodologies, practices, processes, procedures are you using or were used in managing them? Because number one, I can tell you that we never had a sit down. I never had a sit down. I never had a sit down with my parents that explained specifically how to manage any components of anything. But what I did get from my parents were biblical principles, right? And so that's really the basis for my understanding and really the basis for how I move. I've said it a few times, excuse me, that I come from a line of pastors and preachers and deacons, generationally. And so that being said, knowing that I came from that generationally, uh, that was built into me. But that's probably as far as it went, right? So you were taught to go to read the Bible. You were taught to get something in your head, or you might as well be dead. But there was no other processes or procedures to help navigate the life thing. It's almost like, and no slam on my parents. I'm not slamming them. I'm just because of what our parents had to go through, and all of our parents had to go through this. There wasn't no course that you could take to say, okay, this is how you're going to manage your life. Shalom, brother E. What's happening? How you doing, bro? Peace and blessings.
Hey, shalom and blessings, brother Cleo, my brother Najee, all my brothers and sisters in the chat. Shalom and blessings. Hope all is well with y'all.
Hey,
Appreciate that,
brother
bro. Thank you
Eric.
for jumping in. Appreciate you. Sorry
Yeah.
about that, Hal. No, I mean
No,
the G.
no.
Sorry about that, bro. Go ahead, man.
I was saying, hey to brother Eric, man. Good to see you on, man. I wanted to just add a little bit here, brother Cleo. So, how were you taught to manage your life and all the other things that you put on the first slide? But it's not also, it's not only how were you taught, but who taught you, right?
You want to go back
Um,
here? You want me to go forward or stay here?
Oh no, you could stay on where you were.
Okay.
You were just talking about, what you learned from your parents. Um, I could say like all the things that you listed on that first slide: family relationships, social work, religion, culture. I learned none of that from my parents. Like everything that I learned from my siblings, my brothers and sisters. I learned in the streets. I learned growing up and going to school about the way I should be. You know, so I think it's also who you learn it from.
Absolutely correct. And I will say this to both you brothers like I normally do. Don't let me ramble on. When you guys see or hear something that's going to be definitely edifying, because most times when you brothers speak, it's going to be edifying to the family. Go ahead and jump on, and I will shut up and let you brothers rock out. So I appreciate that, bro. That's an awesome point. That's a very awesome point because who you learning from is going to help shape you. It's going to help shape your mind. Now, mind you that most of my mind, I'm telling you, my mind was shaped under the guise of Christianity, right? And so, and I'm gonna admit this to you, family. I done told y'all to go ahead and bust a stained glass window out the church, right? Because I grew up in the church that had the stained glass window. It was my uncle's church. Had the stained glass window with the zigzag man. So I'm speaking from, and here's the coldest part. You know you messed up, brother C. When you close your eyes, if you think about Mashiach, you see the zigzag man. I'm talking about your brother C right now, this day, 2022. That's messed up. I need a lobotomy. How is it that a brother's in the truth, and he's been in the truth for a long time? When somebody mentions Mashiach, the first thing that comes into your mind is a picture of Caesarea. That's cold. That's cold programming. And I'm being straight with y'all, fam. I'm not pulling no punches. I'm being straight. So if I had to ask the family, brother E, do you got something to add to this before I turn it to the family and ask them this question to see what they have to say about it?
Not a whole lot. Just, when it comes to managing life in general, that's something that a lot of us grow up lacking. Not saying everybody do. I heard some stuff Brother Hal mentioned about coming up, but for me, it was mostly learning more of what not to do. My grandmother, she worked as a RN, and so she was real good with managing her time and things like that. And I sort of picked up on that a little bit. That's something I still kind of struggle with, but that was something she was good with, managing time, uh, managing finances, and having a home managed. You know what I'm saying? I picked up some of that, but as far as managing life, it was more so of people giving you game along the way, stuff you can keep with you or stuff that you needed to keep with you along the way. You know what I mean? But other than that, nothing much, man. I'm all ears.
That was actually powerful, and you will see why as we get further along. I do want to put up some of these comments that the family made, and this is an answer to the question: When did you find out that you was at the bottom of the barrel, standing in line of our community room in the projects as a little boy, waiting for our box commodities? I'm old enough to remember government cheese, yeah, in them cardboard brown boxes. That's in like a slab. That's, what is it, like about a foot and a half by about 4 inches high, by about 4 inches the other way. Yeah, I remember that government cheese. Government cheese was crazy, but we ate it. Sometimes that's what we had to eat. Let's see here. In elementary school, I was bused in from the ghetto to a school predominantly ish people. It was living two lives in two different worlds. I had a similar situation, grades 4 through 6, where I was bused to the not bust, but driven to the other side of town, and it was the white side of town, and I can remember being called the N word, and they would say, "Ah, nigger, no offense, ah," or I had one, he would say under his breath, "nigger, jungle bunny, spirit chucker." And I didn't know what those words were. I didn't know what no spirit chucker was, no jungle bunny. I didn't know nothing about that. But that's the type of stuff I was subjected to. Let's see, nature's graffiti. Yeah, I'd say elementary, first time audibly called N word by others. Cheese sandwiches. Yeah, you remember the? Do you remember them ketchup or sugar sandwiches, Linda Siggersbay? Where you didn't have nothing in the house, where you put some mustard on a slice of bread and ate that. That was your food. Yeah, remember them days. Shalom, brother Yash. Hope all is well with you, bro. Peace and blessings to you. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation that we're having. So, fam, as far as you as an individual, Mr. The original school, peace and blessings to you, brother. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody as you guys are coming in. If I am, please forgive me. I don't want to make a habit of missing you all because you are very important to me. And so I want to make sure that I put you up. Shalom to you, Yvette Rivera. Shalom to you, Anthony. Michael LaRose. Peace and blessings to you. Let's see here. To be honest, I was way off on managing all of them when I was asleep. But when I woke up to who I was, you and four of the channels that I listened to helped me to manage all aspects of my life. Peace and blessings to you, sis. That's a blessing, and that's a testament really to the work that the brothers on this channel do. But it's also a testament to the Ruach. It's a testament to the Father, because if you're saying that you're better off now than when you were in Christianity, than when you were before you came into the truth, you are definitely blessed. And I can say that I'm blessed beyond my imagination after saying and doing what I've done. Definitely that. So appreciate that. Let me see. Let's see. That's interesting. Plastered in the brain, like on Good Times. Good Times was an interesting show because they kept us hanging on, and the brothers, every time they got a chance to get out, they always got knocked back down, and that was always something that stuck with me, and it left an impression in my mind that is that going to be our fate, where when we try to get up and climb out, and I'm talking about when Good Times was out. That was a sitcom that was done by the Fuse, and the Fuse do things for a reason. So I'll just leave that at that. Obadiah Prince, peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Um, y'all clowning, y'all need to get saved. Let's see here. Let's read some more of these comments. I learned by watching others' mistakes. Syrup sandwich, yup, syrup sandwiches. You better believe that. Let's see here. Sandwich bread sandwiches, government grilled cheese. Mustard and I know we had no lettuce, just mustard on a slice of bread. That's what you got. Let's see here. My sister say when I was pushed down by a white guy who was my sister and my classmate, my sister fought him for pushing me and calling us liggers. I bet she whooped his tail. My sister say better off, definitely better off since Christianity. You love Yah. Shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well to you. Okay, so I think enough of you have answered the question of how you and my brother Najee, forgive me for saying that, Najee, it's gonna take me some time to have it all the way in my mind, and I'm an old head, so please forgive me. But my brother Najee brought something that when you think about the methodologies and practices, process, procedures, or whatever you want to say, how you came about by learning things and learning how to manage your life and yourself. The next part of that will be where did these teachings that you have deployed in your life and to manage your current life come from? So my brother Najee actually answered and E kind of answered the question before the question was even asked. So who was responsible? If you guys could put in the chat, if everyone could put in the chat, who was responsible for teaching you as far as your upbringing and giving you most of your game? I would say my mother and father. And so I will put that in the chat. But if you guys could entertain me and put in the chat who was responsible mostly for, and for lack of a better term, for the game that you got, and for how you carry yourself as far as being an individual and what you believe that you've learned when it comes to managing your life. My mother and father were very instrumental in my life when it comes to that, because they believed the book. And my father would always tell me that everything that you need to know is in the book. And that still resonates with me to this day because he was absolutely correct. Now, he was looking at it from a King James Version's perspective, which there's a lot in the King James that needs to be decoded, but there are other books that brothers have went into and they have started decoding them. My brother says my pops. Okay. And I said my father and mother. Do we have anybody else? I think Brother Najee said he the streets. He didn't say he was for the streets, but he said the streets. And I spelled father wrong. I spelled father. I didn't say you was for the streets, bro. I didn't say that, man.
You wanted to, man. I heard
No,
it.
no, hey, don't put that on me, bro. I didn't say that. I said he's not. See, you wrong.
For the streets.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not built for the streets. I always was a square, and we'll leave it at that. Or at least that's what I'm gonna claim. I'm gonna claim that, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Let's see. Brother C, if we ask some of your friends, they'll probably say you was big as Hellraiser growing up, but that's a different conversation. Obadiah Prince, let's see. My mother, my father was absent, and that's unfortunate, but you had a stand-in. The stand-in was the father via the Ruach. That's what I would say to that. And you're here right now. And that's a blessing. You are a blessing. Trust and believe that. Tycee Rowland says, mother and brother, my dad also, but I didn't get to know him until I was grown. All praises to that. You had family in your life to help raise you up. I forgot to mention too that my older brother, he was instrumental too, in my upbringing. And I had a few older brothers, but this was the older brother that you looked up to. He was like the end all be all, and I'm gonna leave it at that because to me he was the end all be all. And I don't have a problem admitting that. Now he's not the end all be all. Now he's just whatever the hell he is. He's just a regular nigga. No, I'm just playing. He's still my brother. Let's see here. You love Yah. Yes, the patriarch and the matriarchs of the family, grandparents, father, and mother. Let's see here. Nature's Graffiti. The book definitely from a young age and parents, but really took the whole village. All praise to that. Let's see here. Xenia Yashara. My grandparents, my aunts, uncles, and my mom laced me with the game. All praises to that. All praises to that. Let's see here. My dad was my solid rock. All praises that you had a father, because if that's your sentence, that means you're a strong brother. It's not to say that brothers is not strong who didn't have a father, because where your mom was there, the ruach and the father was rocking out with your mom, especially if you're an Israelite. How could you say that, brother? See, well, I could say that because if you alive on this earth and you didn't have your father with you, the head, and you have your same mind, the father was working with you, because every obstacle that was ever designed and created in anybody's mind, wicked or otherwise, was devised to either lock you up or put you in the grave. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so if you rocking out on this earth and your dad wasn't there and you had your mom, all praise to the father for making that work out, because he will make a way. That's his business. JPM says, for me, it would have been my teachers and or mentors that were sent into my life, because I didn't have immediate family that could pass those skills on to me. So I patterned myself off of their good traits. And see, that's one of the things that's missing from our culture, brother. You just said it succinctly. That right there is missing from our culture, in a sense that we don't have a set way of, and it should be wash, rinse, and repeat. And what everything that everybody's saying are actually templates. Everything that everybody, whether it be your aunt, grandfather, grandmother, father, sister, brother, those are all templates. They're templates because you use the game and information that they gave you, and you took it upon your own. Now you are a template for those that look at you, for the young stars that look at you. You're a template. We are all templates, every single one of us. Let's see here. You love Yah says, what's so funny, even after you get to a certain point of age in life, you still have to fall in line when the elders speak. That should be our natural inclination, because that's how, because of the type of people that we are, that's how we're constructed, right? But I will say this, just because you're of age doesn't mean that you have wisdom and knowledge or anything along those lines, right? Age doesn't determine wisdom and knowledge. But if you are of age and you do have gray hairs, you should be able to edify and give something to the young stars. There should be something that I should be able to hand my children, not only my children, but the younger individuals that I work out with, whether it be my brothers on the panel. That's what I mean by working out. Whether it be the brothers on the panel or the folks in the chat. Let's see here. Can't forget my paps. He poured cups of gang too, and also older cousins and partners. All praises to that. Amen. My good brother Yah said the old heads. That's it. The old heads were definitely instrumental, and my parents were like kind of guarded, so we didn't really get to rock out with and really mix. I mean, we wasn't even allowed to go trick or treating, because back in the day when I was growing up, you had crazy peckerwoods putting razor blades in apples and poison and things and hurting children. Now you got to be a wicked mind to want to hurt a child. I don't care if it's a heathen. Well, if you're told to do something by the Father, then you must do it. But that's neither here nor there. You have to be a wicked mind to say that I'm a lace this candy with some poison so that it could hurt some children, right? That's pretty outlandish. So I think we got some good answers too. My brother Kadar's in the chat. I didn't see you. Hey, brother Kadar, I didn't see your name. I didn't see you out there. If I see you, I'm scrolling up, looking for you. If you want to jump on, brother, you can. Hope all is well with you. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you and the family are doing well, brother. Good to have you on. At any rate, let me see this last one. We're gonna throw Sharon O's up. Grew out without my father, was difficult for my mom, but the Most High made a way. Yes, he did. All praise to the Father. I have to give a hand clap to that one. The reason why I give a hand clap to that one, because he definitely, the Father will always make a way for his beloved. There's somebody go get the precept where it says somebody not going to be begging for bread. And I believe he was talking about this hour. Do not think for 1 minute that the world is not in shambles, that you're going to have to go without. I believe that all Israelites won't be going without, especially if you're called by his name according to what the book says. But the Most High made a way. He kept us and led me to his truth. All praise to the Father. Yes, all praise to the Father. Yes, lift him up. Lift him up. Yes, sir. So let's go on to the next slide. So I think we have a we're starting to build a little bit, and I think what's going to happen is everybody's going to see a recurring theme with this manage and whatnot. So let's go to the next slide. So now I want everybody I'm going to ask questions, and you can ask yourself these questions if you feel comfortable with putting the answers in the chat. I would hope that you put the answers into the chat, because this is not for our benefit, but this is really for the benefit of our Christian brothers and sisters who come by and happen to read the chat. And go back and read the chat of all shows, read the comment section, but definitely watch the chat. Why do I say that? Because you are the most important people, the people in the chat. I say it every show. Why? Because precepts like this come up, and the family will see these precepts, and it will help them to connect to the Father through looking at the precepts and hearing the commentation of his people in the chat and the brothers online. All of that is all part of the whole. Now, see, people can listen to me talk and listen to the brothers on the panel run, but no, if they have what's going on in the chat, that's going to give them a broader understanding of what's either being taught or whatever is being conversed about. So I'm not begging you, but I am asking you that if we ask a question, go ahead and put your thoughts in the chat, because that's going to be edifying for the other family. So JPM says, this is the one I call Psalms 37:25. I have been young and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken. The Father say he not going to forsaken those of you who are LSC. That's the Father's righteousness, is his laws, statutes, and commandments. not seeing the righteous forsaken. So he's not going to forsake you. He's not. How are you righteous? If someone was to ask you, well, what makes you righteous? But the key part is he not forsaken them, nor his seed begging for bread. So this hour, with the whole world going to hell, the Father will supernaturally bless you if you don't have. The Father will do whatever he wants to do to make sure that his family is taken care of. Somebody get the precept where Mashiach fed all of those men and women with what little bit that he had, and they was full, but then how you going to pick up baskets after that? How did he do that? Not to mention the same man that did that work said that greater works than what he was doing, you was going to do. How many folks believe that? See, that's the thing. And that's why on the slide, you always will see the bottom religion in there. Because if you don't believe that you're capable of doing greater works than Mashiach, then you are stuck in the old paradigm of Christianity. Because that came out of Mashiach's mouth. Tycee Rowland says LSC. That's right. It's LSC. And when you look at LSC, you better be thinking that LSC is Mashiach, because that's exactly what it is. Book say in the beginning was the Word. That ends it all right there. Who was the living Word? Who was the Word that was made flesh and dwelt among us? Who was that? The Father's Word is his law, statutes, and commandments. He made his law, statutes, and commandments flesh. And that same flesh dwelt among us. Let's see what Mr. Original School said. Law, statutes, and commandments keeps one righteous while staying committed to right living. All praises. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all coming hard today. I'm glad y'all putting the precepts up. I'm not going to be able to put them all up, but I'm going to say this. When the fam come through, when you send your family to look at this kingdom conversation, tell them, open up the chat and put on pause and read all of the heavy droppings that the fam done dropped on you. Our family not playing with this book. Never was and never will be. Shalom to the fam. Shalom, Mr. Thorpe. How you doing, brother? That's right, HaMashiach. That's right, HaMashiach is LSC. That's what the Christian, they missed that punchline. So I'm gonna keep going. Y'all notice I haven't been yelling today? y'all didn't notice that, did y'all? We don't win an hour. I ain't yelled at y'all not one time. Ain't that something? I might be saved now. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask everybody. Mind you that all of us are participating in this. Everybody. And everybody's going to grow from this. So now the question you have to ask yourself is, how's your life currently ran? What are you doing to currently run your life? You wake up. I'm looking at it I'm going to do my perspective. Wake up. Get dressed early in the morning. Go to work. Come home. Eat. Maybe do some work on my IP. Go to bed. Just really fast. Bang, 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 bang. So it's fast-paced, but my time seems like it's not enough. Next question. Are you organized? Is anybody organized in the chat? I will say, I'm gonna do it loaded. I'm gonna say yes and no. I'm gonna put that in the chat. To answer the question of are you organized, I'm going to say yes and no. Is that a fair answer? And that's my answer to are you organized? So if I was to ask you, fam, are you organized in your life? What would your response be? And I'm asking you that now. And I want some honesty. Hey, Joy, how you doing, sis? Peace and blessings to you. Hope you are well.
Hey, brother C.
Go ahead, bro. Rock out.
So not to step on you, bro. But
no, go.
But I kind of think, and tell me what you think about this, and fam, tell me what y'all think also. I think if you ask yourself, if you're organized and you can't say yes or no, it's probably no. That's what comes across to me. So
then I would have to retract mine and say no. Then, to be honest,
no,
and you're not stepping on me, but that you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. So I will say no for Brother C.
Yeah, so you're like to think about the statement, because I think even if I think myself, right, and I think, okay, are you organized, and I really have to think about it, then the answer is probably no.
Yep. And so, Brother C, we should, what should we do with this comment then? We should put that user in timeout or block his comment. What I'm going to say is no. Emphatically, no with a exclamation point. Because that's the absolute truth. Even if I'm organized in, let's say, 2 out of 10 things, which is probably more close to my reality, maybe 3 out of 10 things, then that's not organized. The other 7 things are in shambles. So I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. So, fam, I'm seeing some of the answers. I'm gonna put some of them up, but before I do that, my brother got jokes. Yeah, he did. So now that I'm saved, and now that I'm saved, you could call me Pastor, Brother Cleo, and I'm expecting that Trinity offering to brotherc.com. Right? Y'all know what that Trinity offering is. Zadok Yahoo, if it wasn't for the Most High, I would not be here today. My earthly father was missing. All praises, though. The Father kept you. And you got it right in your sentence there. He definitely kept you. So, well, Sister Joy says somewhat she's organized. Let me see. Mary Ayakita, I have to be. I always have so much to do. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. You could be a blessing to others with that mindset, because the family needs to understand what that mindset is, so that we can all do that. And so being organized depends on a lot of different things. Shalom, brother. Hey, Josiah Ben Yehuda. Seem like I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. Hope you're well, man. Hope all is well with you. My brother Romy says depends, but mainly no. Sister Lynn says yes and no, which my brother Najee said that yes and no is not an answer. So you might have to either stand on yes or stand on no. Go ahead, rock out, brothers.
Yeah, Sister Lynn, you gotta choose one. Come on, sis.
So you gotta make a decision,
right?
But I think that first question, though, is rather profound when you say, how is your life currently ran? You know, most people today, if you working, then your life is pretty much ran by a default schedule. You know, a 5-day schedule, having to get up and work, and then it's really after that what counts as the organization. You know, having a job keeps us somewhat, I ain't gonna say organized, but somewhat in a mode, so to speak. But then outside of that is where we kind of get slack and fall off, and you know, because so much of our time is taken up from that. So how our life is ran, you know, in my view, is different from how we organize. That makes sense.
That makes total sense, and that's absolutely correct. They're actually 2 different things. However, I'm going to say this yet again. You keep hitting on a very important aspect to this topic, and I'm not going to give it away, but we'll replay it, and you replay the couple of times I've said this already, and you're making some pretty salient points, and I really appreciate that.
I don't want to move too fast, though.
You done already jumped ahead, but that's okay. I expect nothing less of the panel. How the G done did it a few times, you done did it a few times, so it's all good. I'm not gonna kick y'all off the panel and get mad and tell y'all be like the old man, get off my lawn, damn it, you young niggers,
stepping on my grass.
Get off my lawn. Unorthodox daughter of Zion. I go to the gym after work, spend quality time Let's remind me later on that. This thing is bugging out every chance it get. Okay, so let's continue. We spend quality time with my fam in the evening, simultaneously working on my business, writing down goals, organizing future projects, late nights. That you need to be commended for that, sis. You need to be commended for that. And I do want to ask the question after I get through these comments. Late night because there doesn't seem to be enough time in the day. That's interesting. It's an interesting comment. Yvette Rivera. I'm mostly organized, but sometimes multitasking gets the better of me. My sister says I'm not organized. That's okay, sis. Najee threw me under the bus too, so we both under the bus.
That's right.
Najee is driving the bus. All right, he the bus driver. He just just steamrolled a half of it. Cindy Carr. In some areas I am, but not in other areas. So I'm going with no. My brother, Mr. Thorpe, says nope. I'll take no for 300, Jack. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but that's hilarious. Let's see. I'm scatterbrained if I don't organize. Sis, put in the chat how you organize yourself. Do you use computer? Do you use a notepad and paper? My brother Real Morgan. Hey, shalom, fam. Good to see you, brother. My life is controlled chaos. Okay, so Najee go say either say yes or no.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a no.
That's all.
Real brother, that's a no, real.
Real, he gave you a thumb here. Najee is Nero. Najee gave you a thumbs down. It's all in good fun, bro. I don't want to offend my man, Real Morgan. Real Morgan look like he got 25-inch guns on his arm. Don't make that man mad. He can come through and be like Debo. That's my mic, punk.
Yeah, you know we keeping this online, right?
I got about $200. Brother Badger, how you doing, man? What's good with it, bro?
Yo, peace, family. How y'all doing?
Hey, Brother Bonnie.
Hey, shalom, bro.
Oh, shalom. Peace and blessings to people in the chat, too.
What's good with it, man? What's happening?
Nothing much. I was just listening in. You know.
Okay, cool. We gonna get back to it. The family is writing down their sins on the wall, and they praying to Cesare. So we gonna get back to praying to Cesare. Marriott M says I'm organizing maybe 7 out of 10 things. Okay, brother Najee, she's 7 out of 10. That's pretty high. That's 70%, bro.
7 out of 10 is good. 7 out of 10. She's pushing the yes, man. She's pushing the yes.
She definitely a yes. I agree with that. I agree. 70%, that's good. Let me see. I admit I'm 3 out of 10, so that's 30%. So I'm definitely a no. He's lying, talking about yes and no. Thou liar. Let me see. JPM says, yes, I'm organized with the things I care about most. That's an awesome point right there. I fit that too. For the things you got a heart and a love for, you're going to be more organized, which happens to be the word of the Most High right now. Everything else I pay less attention, time, and effort towards, just enough to get by. I appreciate that, bro, because that's probably the case for 99% of the people here. Things that we care about and that we love, we're going to be more apt and more so giving to that and giving our all and giving the time to it. My sister Cindy Clark says somewhat. Lynn says I'm organized, but it get ripped apart by the people around me. My brother, Mr. Stork, still trying to adjust to change family. Still trying to adjust to change. Okay. It is the Most High that's keeping me in the midst of the passing of my late father. All praises to the Father, and my condolences for the passing of your father. And hopefully the little time that we do with fellowship, it helps in that regard. Nobody can replace Pop, because I know nobody can replace my Pop. I wish I had him here to talk to him, but I know that based on how he carried himself and how he moved, that he's in Abraham's bosom relaxing right now. And I hope the same for your father, Mr. The Original School. Let's see here. Spiritually, yes. Physically, no. We're going to put up a couple more. I think that's it. Let's see here. My brother got here late. Jamal McBride, Shalom fam. Got in here a little late, but glad to be here. I always learn a lot listening to these brothers. Hey, peace and blessings and shalom to you, brother. And prayerfully, that's the case. And so before you leave, make sure you send that Trinity offering. That's 30%, not 10%, to at brother C at google.com. Okay, so let's see. I'm put a couple more up. It has some order, but not at the level I know it can be. And fam, keep putting those as we ask these questions. Even if I don't put your answers up and I don't respond to them, it's important that the rest of the family that comes along later that they go ahead and read these and look at them. Hey, Real, I know you laughing at that 24 gun R guns, but I'm serious about that, bro. Okay, so let's go to the next question, family, and see what it is. So I think for most of us, and you guys can put in the chat if it is or not, is it efficient? And I'm going to say for me personally, the way that I currently manage my life is not efficient. And there's a reason why. Everybody, most people in the chat already get it. And I believe that the brothers on the panel get it. Some people have said it specifically. Brother Ibri is going to give the whole house away. But yeah, we're not going to let him do that. Brother Elisha, how you doing, brother? What's good with you?
Hey, peace and can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. What's going on?
Hey man, peace and blessings. Just trying to get the Cubs to sleep. That's all. Just showing some support to the elder brother and fellowshipping with the Israelite family out there.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for jumping on, man. And like I always tell y'all, you guys know what it is. If you guys have something to add, or even in response to these questions, please feel free to jump in. So the next question was: is the way that you're currently managing your life, is it efficient? And that's a question that if you feel so, put it in the chat. We're not going to put the answers up to that question, but if you believe it is, say yes. I'm gonna give you some time to answer. Matter of fact, I'm going to put some of the answers up. We got a no. We got another no from Amiyah. Let's see here. Neither is my I'm not efficient, but I also don't mind that now. I'm a lot more at peace with things being relaxed and organic and less planned out. Let's see. No need based. It's not as it should be, but I'm striving day by day, and that's good. And we appreciate and love you here too, bro. We appreciate the family, love the family here. When the family is going through something, believe it or not, we're all going through it, and that's probably why when something happens to one of us or the heathen always lumps us together. There's a reason for that. Get that precept where we're supposed to bear each other up. That's what we're supposed to be doing in this hour. My brother says yes. It's sufficient on his end. Okay, I need to sit with you afterwards and not to discredit you or nothing like that, but you need to show me how you're doing it so that I could get efficient because mine is not efficient. Nope, I'm a huge procrastinator. That's an interesting statement. I'm going to star that, and we may get back to that later. Let's see here, this next one. I'm all the place, some, and that is not productive. You all over the place? Yeah, it depends because JPM said that something. If it's something that you love, you're going to be a little more structured. But then, if it's something that's kind of iffy, then you're going to be like, maybe not. Let's see. I'm working on efficiency. Once all my systems are in place, it will be very efficient. Most high willing. That's pretty awesome. That means that you're ahead of some of us now, sis. Here's what I want to ask you: those mechanisms that you're using, those processes and procedures and the thought, because it mostly starts with the thought first. That way of doing things needs to be presented in a manner where it's wash, rinse, and repeat, right? And it's really about, okay, if I'm efficient at doing something, how can I teach others the workflows that I have so that they can become efficient, right? So that's what I'm then that's why I mentioned the term template. So let's go to the next question, because a template is something that once you use it or once you have it, it's something that is repeatable. My brother says absolutely not, and my other brother, this is Branya. Yeah, I have to be, or everything will go up in smoke. That's not your brother C. That's your brother Banya. He has to be efficient, or he'll go up in a puff of smoke, like somebody that was asking the last time we was on. Is it okay to smoke? Okay, now here's a loaded question. Does the way that you're currently running your life meet your vision? And meet your vision, I'm not giving any disclaimer on what that is and what that is not. Your vision is your vision. And I can say that currently the way that I'm running my life does not meet my vision. It doesn't. And so you all can answer that question. Brothers, if you have some answers or words to the fam, you can say that, but I'm going to put this precept up. Nature's Graffiti says, Proverbs 24:27, prepare thy work without and make it fit for thyself in the fields, and afterwards build thy house. That means that that person is operating with some level of what you would call management. That person is thinking ahead. And I get all of that. That person is not only thinking ahead, but it's almost as if this person who's operating in Proverbs 24:27 has a lot of the organizational things dialed in. So does it meet your vision? So I'm going to put the answers up to does it meet your vision? Nope, not yet. Darlene Franklin says, nah, I'm going to assume that means no. Getting closer every day, but no. Sharon O says no. Darlene says no. My brother Yash says does not meet my vision anymore, but working on it. That's right, and that's the key thing, fam. As long as we're not standing still. And my brother Lasha put this up in the in the background, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this comment up because it's the precept I called. Thank you, Elisha. I appreciate that, brother.
No problem, fam.
Galatians 6:2. Let me put it up. Galatians 6:2. King James Version. Bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of who? Hey, that's that. Galatians 6:2 telling you what the law is. So fulfill the law of Mashiach, which is LSC. We know that. But we're supposed to be doing that for one another. If you're not thinking about, and see, I was ready to get mad and start yelling at y'all, but I resisted. Y'all see, y'all heard that pause? I resisted. But listen,
Can I ask you a question, bro?
go ahead, bro.
How do we do Galatians 6:2 if we don't unite?
I think that it starts with yourself, and then you have to have the heart and the mind to do it. You that's an individual thing that will grow out organically to the collective. Let's see here. Let's keep hitting some of these answers. The vision for what I'm working on is not mine, but the Most High's. I'm just a steward of His plan. That's a brilliant answer. I'm gonna star that. Hopefully, these ones that I star, and I should have been starring some of the other ones, and I went past some, so I'm gonna go back up and capture them because this is the important part. Y'all think I be playing, or y'all think I'm just talking when I say, "Hey, you know what? The most important part is the chat. The chat is the most important part of of any show that we do." Because the chat completes whatever it is that we're conversing about. Sister Yvette Rivera does not currently meet my vision, but every day, step by step, I'm working towards the desired goal. And that's good that you have goals because a lot of us, I'm speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for my family in the chat. A lot of us don't have our goals established or written down that we can see what the target is so that we can attack it. I just gave y'all that one for free. Josiah Ben Yehuda. Yes, I used to be a lot more organized and very busy. Then DVOC 19. Israel's bomb. Nobody's more creative than Israel. came on the
was great.
scene and transformed my outlook to slow down, calm down, and be at peace. Somebody's saying something, go ahead, rock.
No, I was just saying Divock, man. Divock. That was good. I got to up Divock.
That's something right there. That's Israel, man. I tell you what. And I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna get back to that. Because that right there, I mean, the brother just writing here in the chat, but the brother say something profound or say something that in my mind, first thing I'm thinking about, okay, is that an IP that I'm looking at? So let's keep going. I think we said that one about the sister. My sister says working on it. Mary I M. My brother, Mr. Thorpe, says working on it still as I learn and apply how we should live as a people according to the book, then apply changes, a constant growth. That's absolutely correct. And that's good that you're using that as your template. That's another recurring theme that we should be hearing is template. I've said that a few times, right? And a recurring theme should be coming up in the people's minds as terms of the important thing. Not yet. And I think that's it. So let's go to the next question. See, do we got any more questions here? Here's a loaded one. Are you a good manager? Are you a good manager of your life? I guess you have to be, yes, because you're still here, right? That doesn't mean you're a good manager because you're still on the earth, right? And that's something that you all can think about. Do an introspective look at yourself and be honest. You think you're a good manager over your life? Brother Najee, can this be a yes or no, or does it have to be definitively yes or definitively no? You're the bar, bro.
I'm the arbitrator now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Are you a good manager?
Mhm.
My mind immediately goes to work, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, for some people that may not be the case. So I don't know. This is a loaded question right here. It could go in a lot of different directions.
Yep, and that's by design. That's by design. And you know what the design is, bro? And you just brought it about. The design is to make one think, because right now I'm doing an introspective look at myself. Basically, I'm holding myself up to the mirror up to my face, and asking myself this question by myself in truth. And if that's the question, are you a good manager? Everybody answered truthfully. You're going to come to some sort of conclusion, but I'm not going to wait on everybody to put that answer in. But the next one, I will want you guys to put it up. My brother Yash says, not with my time. My sister Mary Yash says, yes. Brother Yash says, not with my time. Time is a recurring theme. Okay, so let's look at this next question. So we asked the question, are you a good manager? The next question is, are you a good steward? That's also a loaded question in a sense, right? Are you a good steward? Well, to be a good steward, you have to have something to be a steward over, right? Or is that just pertaining to tangible things?
When brothers is talking about being a good steward, how are we applying that? Are we talking about outside the home and in the home? Because Paul said that the elder should be able to run his own house well. So everybody in a position of running a house is at least getting training at managing, and that's where he starts his that's where his ability comes from to start managing and having a stewardship outside the house is first to rule one's own house, wife and children, or whatever the case may be, on how that house is being brought up. So, first person I have to say is they ruling well their own house. And then answer the question based off of that before you go outside.
Okay, so the question is again, are you a good steward? Ezekiel 43 and 10 to 12 says, you son of man, ascribe the house to the house of Israel, so they will be ashamed of their iniquities. Let them measure accurately. All praise to that. That's a good word right there. See, yes, room to improve. Verse 11 to Ezekiel 43 and 11. If they are ashamed of all they have done, sketch out the house for them, its layouts, its exits, and its entrances, its complete design, with all the ordinances and all the laws. All praise to the Father. Let's see here. It's another good one. Write it down in their sight. Write it down in their sight so they may observe its complete design and all its ordinances and do them. That's profound right there. Nature's Graffiti, thank you for that. Verse 12. This is the Torah of the house. The whole territory around it on top of the mountain will be most holy. Behold, this is the Torah of the house. All praises to the Father. My brother says define steward. Um, how I would just briefly define it, and we can get the actual definition. But I would say your responsibility over something, and you have something that you're responsible for. Let's see here, Darlena Franklin. Like the brother said, your household first. You're responsible for your household. Spiritually over my soul. Yes, I'm doing my best to be a good steward over all that I have been given to do, and that's a great statement. I'm going to start out. We'll probably bring that up later. Let's see. Yes, I have to take care of a few people's personal and business affairs on their behalf, and I did a good well. I do good as well. I also have managerial experience in the work field parable of the talents. All praise to that. I'm going to start at, and we're going to use that later on too. So let's move on to the next question. And this next question is a three-part question. Are you profitable, reliable, and trustworthy? Profitable in what? I mean, you could answer a question with a question, or think of what your first thought is and answer the questions that way. But the question is, are you profitable? Profitable in what? Are you reliable? Reliable in what? I mean, you could answer a question with a question, or you could look at the question and say, if someone were to ask you, is Brother Cleo a trustworthy person? Or Brother Cleo, are you ask, hold the mirror up to your face and ask yourself that question. Are you a trustworthy person? Brother C, if I talk to your last employer or your last business partner, would they say that you're reliable? Brother C, if it comes to when profitability doesn't necessarily mean making money. Is it profitable for somebody to sit down and listen to you if you're a fool? Right? So you folks can answer that question. Those three. I'm not going to tie you to it because I do want to keep it pushing. But I do want the fam to answer at least one of the three. I can say that I'll answer the last two, and I will say that I am definitely reliable, and I consider myself to be trustworthy. Reason why I say that is because I go by the tenet, and this was the East Coast phraseology, where the brothers from the East Coast would always say, "Word is bond," and that always stuck with me. And when I give my word to someone, I'm held to that standard because I spoke that. Because we only have two things. We only have two things on this earth. Two. Not 8, not 9, not 10. We have two things. One is our word. And so I'm bound by what I say. A lot of people don't operate under that. And I do believe I'm reliable. I believe that if I'm tasked to do something, that people will say that, yeah, you can count on that brother to do it. He's reliable. You can count on that brother to be on time when he's supposed to be somewhere. You can count on that brother right there. That should be the report that everybody have amongst you. And if not, you could strive to get to that. But I'm just saying that's where I'm at. Now, the question of am I profitable? I'm gonna say that's TBA. That's TVA. My sister said yes to all three in money, in my business of alterations. I am reliable and dependable to do my job responsibilities. All praises to you, sis. So we got a sister right here that's got her own alteration business that be getting busy. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we could expect that to be franchised and coming to a wilderness near you. Y'all didn't hear that. That got by some of y'all. Let me see. Josiah Ben Yehuda says, I'm inconsistent with all three. Okay. My sister Lynn says, I'm trustworthy and reliable. That's a good report. And like I said, it's the report that we're looking at answer these questions as we look and reflect in the mirror, but then also consider too that what would another person say? Would another person say, "Oh yeah, he's you could count on that, brother." Where's this comment that I seen? Now, let me go here. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I'm failing this interview. You know you're not, bro. That answer right there tells me you're not failing this interview at all. Let's read this precept. Proverbs 22:1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. That's right. And loving favor rather than silver and gold. And that's important. That's man, I'm gonna start this one because we might have to get back to that one. Having a good name is awesome. If your name is not that nobody hears photo streets, but if your name is tore up on the streets, what's your life gonna be like? Where you live at? If you got a bad report of doing deviltry to the folks in the neighborhood, what's that gonna be like for you? You're not gonna be able to get no job. If you done spent your last 10 years hopping from job to job, you done had 100 jobs, your name is tore up. You can't get no reference. You get a reference on somebody, they'd be like, oh hell no, don't hire him. Don't hire that brother. That brother out of his mind. Mary Ayukita, I will be profitable, most high willing. My results are in my hands. Oh, man. Yes, I am reliable. Yes, I am trustworthy. My results are in my hands. That's profound. I'll start out. We may be getting back to that. Brother Yash says, I would like to think yes to all three. We'll let the arbiter decide. Arbiter, what say you, sir?
No, I know, brother Yash, man. He ain't got none of those, man.
Hey, hey, Yash, don't feel bad. I got ran over too already, bro. He done already ran me over about 4 times here. I didn't get mad. I'm like, okay, well, he just ran me over there. Everybody run me over, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm not gonna take it personal. Let's see here. My brother, Mr. Thor, says sometimes, depending on the situation, yes and yes. My sister talked about her profitability, talked about her business. So I'm going to read this last precept and we're going to move forward. Okay, so 1 Corinthians 4:1-2. So let each one think of us in this way as Messiah's helpers and stewards of the mysteries of God. That's a pretty profound precept. We're going to say that. And we're going to leave that for later. Let's see here. Number 2, in this case, moreover, what is required of stewards is to be found what? Trustworthy. All praise to the Father. That's why I mess with the Israelites. Nobody on the earth can decode the book like Israel. Why is that, fam? Why can nobody decode the book like Israel? Probably because it wasn't given to nobody else. If this book wasn't given to you, you don't need to be picking it up unless you're picking it up with an Israelite. In the Israelite, you sit and learning with an Israelite. I'm gonna put this last one up. Marriott M. All three profitable, reliable, and trustworthy. I work with children. The babies are important. That's 100% correct. And you're a Templar for them babies too, because them babies watching you like a hawk. They'll do everything the sister do. Hey, 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 I didn't do it, Yash. That was the G, man. I was just an innocent bystander. He done ran me over too, so it's all good. Let's see. Charataza Kala, shalom, brother. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you are well. So let's get to the next one. I think we're at the end of questions. Oh, last question. And we're going to ask the question and we're going to move over. It's 2 questions in one. Are you happy with it? And do you have joy in it? So are you happy with your life, basically? And do you have joy in your life? Right? So with that question in mind, with the first one, I would say that I am happy with my life and I do have joy in my life. That's not the same question of have you accomplished what you plan on accomplishing. It's not tied to that. It's just a simple question of are you happy with your life as it currently sits? And do you have any joy in your current life as it sits? I can tell you that I have joy in fellowshipping with the family here. I get joy out of fellowshipping with my wife when we do things. I get joy out of working on the different IPs and excited about what I'm working on. Some of the outside projects that Salt of the Earth was working on. So I got some. I get joy when I read the book. I got all kinds of things that I get joy out of, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm a part of the kingdom of the Israelites. I get joy about that. I get joy when I hear when I see what the Father has said, what's going to be the end to the Psalms 83 people. I get joy out of that. That makes me happy too. Psalms 109, I get joy when I can pray Psalms 109 over my enemies. That does make me happy. Deuteronomy 30, one of my favorites. So I'm always quoting Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy 30, or the tail gets to become the head. I look forward to those days. I look forward to the precept that was put up where we gonna be at rest. Us at rest means that we're sitting down amongst ourselves and we're developing things. We're coming together and building things. That's awesome right there. Yvette Rivera says yes, yes. My brother Josiah Ben Yehuda says yes and yes. This has been the first time in my entire that I am walking fully with Yah, and I am at peace no matter what the circumstance. Now, you know what's funny about that is that the whole earth is going to degradation, and yet the only people that seem to be at peace is the Israelites. Put a one up if you notice that on earth, fam. I'm not yelling today. It's not because I'm at any kind of peace, because am at peace. I like yelling at y'all because it's the thing to do. No, I just get fired up if with whatever it is that I'm talking about, and I get fired up. I have to do that. But please forgive me for that. But this is an awesome statement right here, because right now there's nobody that's at peace on this whole earth except for the Israelites. I'm gonna put my one up. If you see how perplexed heathens are when they're around you. You could go online and see all the perplexedness of the heathen when they're talking about this, that, and the third. Oh, World War III. The only people's the first thing that Israelites think about is, well, man, y'all just now getting to this with the FBI. Well, we been saying that with COINTELPRO. Oh, y'all just now knew that the voting was rigged. Oh, we been knew that. Yeah, I tell you, you know why the main reason why the voting is rigged? The main reason why the voting is rigged is for a simple fact that it's more of us here. Yeah, you mean to tell me that hold on a second, we got somebody that keeps sending a bot here. And the bot is doing some odd things that I can't control. That's wild. Let's see here. Block this user.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I got it.
Okay, I'm trying, man. It's not letting me do it for some strange reason.
It's a YouTube bot, man.
Yeah, it's not letting me do nothing, man. Put these in timeout.
Whenever you can't block it out.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That's crazy, man. I couldn't block it. I couldn't do nothing.
Good
And so
now.
let's get back to the get back. We're not gonna let them jiggle the wire because that's all they do. I remember one show, brothers was saying they couldn't hear, but the volume was playing loud. I played it back and listened to the volume was playing great. So that means that somebody behind the scenes doing something. But we know what it is, so we're not worried about them. Okay, so my brother said yes and yes the entire time, walking in faith with the Father, peace no matter circumstance. And that's profound that we're able to do that this hour, that we're able to walk and live at the same time, not be dismayed by what we see. Nobody in this chat and nobody on the panel is dismayed by the things that we see with our natural eye, because we know why things are happening the way that they're happening, because this is the Father's contract. And he said that he was going to destroy the nations that touched the apple of his eye, Psalms 83 and everybody else. And we look forward to that. If you had to pick a side, who you rooting for, the Ukrainians or you rooting for Russia, who would you put money on? I'm not rooting for neither one. But I will say this, Russia does know something. Russia knows something about everybody in this chat and the people on the panel. Russia knows something. That's why Russia moving the way they do. Do I care about Russia? No, I hope Russia get destroyed, just like I hope the snakes get destroyed. Let's move on to the next slide. Let me click on that button. Okay, so introspective look at life components. Okay, so let's take a look at the components of life. Notice that we have those things at the bottom now, and now we're going to start getting into we're going to do a little bit of a shift. So the life components we said were family, relationships, work, religion, culture, social, economic, right? Those were the components that were at the bottom. Now they're kind of at the side because we're going to go somewhere. Okay, so what is the cost of each one of those things? Each one of those things costs something, right? Family, relationships, work, religion, culture, social, and economic. So, what the cost is the most important resource you own, right? And if I had to ask everybody a question, what would be the most important resource that you own? If you were to tell me. Hey, shalom, brother Bonnier. Peace and blessings to you. We'll catch you on the playback. My brother had to leave. He has to get back on the slave ship, work for somebody else. But I'm asking the family a question now. If you had to answer the question, what is the most important resource we own or that you own individually? What is your most important resource? The Bible. Okay, that's a good resource. Knowledge. That's another good resource. What is your most important resource that you own to your person? We got the Bible, we got knowledge. Any other takers?
Just
Know the
life in
truth.
general.
Say that, bro.
Say we can just say life in general is a resource.
Life in general, that's true.
You say
That's
self.
definitely true. Self.
Self.
Okay, self is a good one. Family,
I would say my time.
time and energy, my faith, time, Yahuwah wisdom. And so I'm going to go ahead and click next. The most important resource that you have and the cost of those things on the left, those yellow things, is time. Time. Your time. Now, the brothers was and the sisters in the chat and the brothers in the chat, you all were giving hints. And Brother E gave a couple of hints as to time. But the most important resource that you own, that you have, is your time. The cost of your relationship, your IPs, and everything else, whether it be social, relationships, work, whether you're operating in your religion, your culture, your family, economics, whether you're making money, not making money, whatever, all of those things have a cost. And what does that cost? Your time. Now I can submit what it is that I wanted to submit. I will submit to everyone that time has sped up. I submit that to you all the time. And because time has sped up, what should we be doing? Somebody get the precept of and I'm not coming at nobody for the IPs where they are. As a matter of fact, I said I wasn't even going to do that. But we are going to talk about it a little bit. So, if time is your most important resource, And if you haven't listened to Redeeming the Time, number 18 on the Kingdom Conversation playlist, I would ask that you go back and listen to that conversation that we had. Time is the only thing that you have. You have two things in life. You have time and your word. That's it. That's it and that's all. You don't have nothing else. Now, you can get knowledge. You can get the book. You can get it so that you're doing like my brother here, and that knowing that time that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. You can be able to quote once you're utilizing your time, you can learn your culture so that you can quote these precepts like this that speak about knowing time, knowing the time. But fam, time has sped up. How do you think it's really going to be however many hours, 24 times 7? How fast that's going to be to where we're doing another KC again? And just time in general, you know you can feel that time is sped up. And here it is right here. The sister put it up, and we quote this all the time. Matthew 24:22. Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. These days now seem like 8 hours a day. One of the sisters put up, hey, my sister, unorthodox daughter of Zion, I believe it was. Let me go to the ones I starred, because she put up, hey, you know what? I feel like I don't have enough time in the day. Time has really, really sped up. So because time, you know that time is sped up. You can feel that time is sped up. So now the question becomes, what are you doing with your time? Are you managing your time? That was the recurring thing that we had in this in this PowerPoint. Managing. But what are you managing? Are you managing your time? Are you a good steward over your time? Because if you are, one of the things that you should be doing to being a good steward of is managing the talents that the Father gave you, right? Oh, there you go. You're about to get at us now. Not somewhat, but not really. Okay, so now let's look at, okay, so we got the things that are lined up here. Let's look at this. Let's do another introspective look at life components. So we got family relationships, work, religion, culture, social, economic. We got the cost, but what about your intellectual properties? What about those things? Well, what's your IP? Your IP, when we say IP, y'all know what it is. It's your intellectual property, right? So what about, where does your nobody didn't tell me, hey, look over here. How come intellectual property ain't over here? Shouldn't intellectual property go into economic? Or maybe my part of intellectual property probably goes under the culture. Some of y'all's probably go under religion. But where does intellectual property fit in your time management? Because there's a cost to doing things. Is there a cost to doing the Father's will? What you're going to spend? You're going to spend your time, right? You'll spend time doing the Father's will. Because the Father gave you that intellectual property. It's your will to do His will. If your will is to do His will, you're going to take your intellectual property and do something with it. Brother C, you said you wasn't going to come at us about our IPs. I did say that, didn't I? So I'm not coming at you about your IPs. I'm just saying that if you're including your business ventures, your ideas, the talents, the 5 talents that He's given you, then guess what? You have to manage your life, manage your time so that you can include them. Unorthodox daughter of Zion included hers. Your time. What the Father gave you, because what the IPs that the Father gave you is not to yourself, it's for the kingdom. It does the same thing. You got to include your intellectual properties and spend some time on that too. The time costs. Your words are costly too. Somebody get the precept that tells me what the power of the tongue is, life and death or something like that. I believe that's in it somewhere. Somebody get that, because you got your word. And according to the Father spoke everything to existence with His words. What capabilities do your words have? If you're saying something, what's happening is they still resonating on the earth, or brother C, are you the type of brother that say something and those words is worthless because you worthless? They don't mean anything because that's all you do is talk. You don't ever do nothing. Especially if the Father then gave you 5 talents and you don't do nothing with them, brother C. My brother got it. Thank you for putting that precept up, bro. I'm putting it up. Proverbs 18:21. This is how come I say you got two things that you have. This proves it right here. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. That means your tongue got power. Your tongue got power. The book say right there, Proverbs 18:12, 18:21. Say it. You got your time in your word. And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You got two things. Mary, y'all put it up too. Mary, what you got some kind of a Bible where you speak something or you record somebody speaking something? It's like a speak and say will automatically give you the precept. That's like when we was out on the street. I think I told the story before. We're in the street teaching, me and Vanya. A brother pulled up and said, "Hey, I want that book that you got." He said, "What?" And we said, "What book you talking about, bro?" We thought he was talking about the Bible. And we typically will have precepts, all the precepts written down in the book so that we can call them, because we'll have them based off of the section that we're doing the teaching on, right? And so the brother pulled up talking about, "Hey, I want that book that you got. Where can I get it? How much it costs?" "You mean the Bible?" He said, "No, that book, that notebook that the brother teaching from." "No, brother, we wrote that precepts down. That's the precept book. That's our precept book. We got all our precepts written down, and it's not no quick answers. No quick answers to none of them." So your time. Everybody's been talking about their time. Everybody's in the chat been talking about time. So your time is your most important resource. But now you have to merge in your IPs into that. And so now time is shortened. You have all of these things over here taking up your time. How are you going to get to that? You have all of these things right here taking up your time. And even inside a family, if you got children, young ones, they taking up time. You got relationships, they taking up time. Work taking 40 hours off the rip. If you're in a religion gonna take another 40 hours. If you're in Christianity, if you're in the 45,000 Baskin Robbins, because they're gonna want you to be there every day, then that means that you may or may not have a social life. Maybe you're doing something on the economic belt. This right here. How are you going to manage all of this? And notice the operative phrase, manage. We've been saying manage all of this time. From the beginning to the end, we was talking about managing. A lot of people was dropping hints on time, Brother E. How you going to factor this in, though, if you're doing all of these things? I could have, instead of intellectual property, I could have put 5 talents. I could have put that precept that talk about the talents, where everybody was given some, and the one got thrown headlong where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth because he had a talent and didn't do nothing with it. We could change that. We change that intellectual property. I'm gonna stop saying that. You could just call it a talent, right? Let's keep it moving. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the alternative approach, and notice that these are flatlined again. Family, relationships, work, religion, culture, socioeconomic. I left IP out. I left the IP out for a reason. Left it out for a reason. So let's talk about an alternative thought approach only. Keep in mind that everything that we're doing is only templates. It's to spur your thought, to spur your mind. Israel needs a lobotomy. I'm going to ask this question before we think of alternative thoughts. I want to ask everybody in the family this question. How do other cultures view you? And I want you to put your answers in the chat. Brothers on the panel, if I were to ask you this question, what would be your response? Starting with my brother Eliashah. How do other cultures or other people in general view you or us as a collective?
I mean, most countries recognize the curses on us without acknowledging that they're the curses. You know, They're perplexed by our situation. They see us pretty much rule the earth in every entertainment category, from sports to almost everything that you can name. That we set the trends, we do all these things, and they say, how can these superhumans be at the bottom of the totem pole on every social, economic, educational ladder on the earth? You know, so they look at us, how we how the stereotypes are, how Esau, how white people portray us in the media. That's how they see us. You know,
I appreciate that, bro, as usual. Brother E, what say you, brother?
If I had to answer this question from the standpoint of how the Most High interprets things, I would say that the nations have hate for us and they have fear for us. They hate us and they fear us, plain and simple.
Appreciate that word, a hate, and both the brothers saying pretty much the same thing. Brother Najee, what say you, brother?
Yeah, I gotta kind of, agree with both what Brother Eric and Brother Elisha said. A combination of the two. One thing that came to mind, I remember hearing it. I can't remember exactly from who, but it was probably one of those old school authors talking about slavery and how um, we were depicted as animals in slavery, but yet and still these animals were forced to take care of the oppressor's children. And so the question was, it became that this author was asking was, what 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 person allows their children to be taken care of by animals? And the point was, they knew we weren't animals. They knew what they had, they knew what they were oppressing, and they knew that it was something great about these people that they were oppressing, that they needed to keep under wraps, that they needed to keep oppressed, because if they ever found out who they are, there would be trouble.
Hitler said the same thing you just said.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that, bro, first thing I was thinking about was this right here. Is you gonna have an animal breastfeed your child?
There you
Really?
go. Yep.
The first thing I thought about when you were saying this, I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. This entity, but that's what they say out of their mouth. In reality, a shalom, brother Kadar. Hope all is well with you, bro. Hope you are well. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome. I'll put the link in the chat. This right here from my sister Joy, pick our brains and take credit for our creations. Man, what I tell y'all, what they call y'all, what they see y'all as. Liquid money. Liquid money. Because they can say that you're an animal. That's for your consumption. So that you could take that in and repeat it and say that, oh yeah, I must be an animal then because everybody think I'm an animal. Not understanding the power of your tongue. Not understanding the power of your tongue. If you pray for a nation, they might be prosperous. If you pray for the destruction of the nation, like our brother, like our grandfather David did, that nation might get plundered.
Elder Cleo,
Go
I
ahead,
don't
bro.
mind if I interject 1 second, man. You mind reading Nahum 3:16? This verse used to always remind me how the nations treat us in this country. Now, if you was to read the whole chapter of Nahum, chapter 3, the context would probably lead you away from this point. But this one verse in Nahum 3:16.
Could you drop it in the chat and we put it up for the fam? You can go ahead and read it, but I do want it up. I do want it up visually. Go ahead and read it, bro. Lash, are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. Can you hear me?
Okay. Go ahead and read it, bro.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so when I back out to grab, if I back out to grab a scripture, you might not hear me for a second.
No, just go ahead and read it, man. We good.
I'm gonna grab it.
Mm-hmm. And while the brother's grabbing it, I'm gonna put up what my sister Joy said, because you could say that someone's this, that, and the third, but I know every time I get on the job, and I'm gonna be straight, I share also this is what they be on. They be, oh yeah, we gonna pick this brother brain. We gonna take credit for all of that. No, you're not, because I'm not gonna give you everything. I can't give you everything. I give you something. And you slip and say it, then it's all gonna come back to me. They've been doing this for time immemorial. When y'all go on these jobs, you wind up training somebody to be your boss. How they look at your neighborhoods as being liquid money, they look at you being liquid money when they don't even let you set up shop in your own neighborhoods, and they can come and set up shop. Have you buying chicken fried rabbit and rat, and every other abomination talking about it's meat, but you eating dog and horse meat. Talking about you going to a Chinese restaurant. They look at you like you liquid money. Oh, you could go to the Arab gas stations where they could shoot and murder our people with impunity, stab our people with impunity, but you got to get gas from them. Liquid money. Not only are you liquid money, are you a prey? Go ahead, bro. Read that.
All right, then look at the
You
context of
got it
this
in there. You
scripture.
got it. Oh, okay. He got it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put it up. I'm put it
yeah.
up. Then you
It
go ahead and rock
says
this.
it says, "Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and flieth away." And this scripture always remind me, of how all the nations come to the inner cities where we live, and they start their businesses. They build themselves up. They build up their family. They build up their economic situation. They build up their fluency, by profiting off of the dollars that we work so hard to produce, by them putting their businesses inside our communities. And it says, if you look at the scripture, it says, "Thou has multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven." These merchants are all around us. It says the cankerworm spoileth and flieth away. So once they have sucked us dry of our money from, profitizing off of us, they take their money and they build up their own people. They don't put any money into the very community they just milk dry. And if you think about it, the Arabs run the gas stations. They got your Crown Fries chickens. They got your 7-Elevens. They got your donut queens. They got your Dunkin' Donuts. They got your liquor stores. All the different nations have their businesses. Chinese people got the Chinese stores, the Korean stores. All of them are in the inner cities where we come from. All of them is where we predominantly, the highest populace of our people, or where we're the popular majority, they make their businesses. And it's just like how the scripture reminds me of. How Israel, if you want to look at the context, that Israel has multiplied his merchants above the stars of heaven. And once they've been in our communities, the cankerworm spoils and they fly off away. They take our money and they go back and they build themselves up.
The brother, and hopefully it is a brother. Hopefully I'm not offending, but Charataza Kalab said the same exact thing you was thinking. So Father must be rocking out over here. Like the book say, where two or more gathered in my name, there I'll be in the midst. Let's read this precept too. That's a good word, brother, because that's exactly what we are. Our neighborhoods are liquid money, and we are walking liquid money to them. You are money. You are a prey. You are a commodity. You a commodity. You an asset, and and in some cases you're a liability, but mostly you're an asset. Why you an asset? How you say you're an asset, brother? See, well, because if somebody could look at you and make millions upon billions of dollars off you, no matter what you do, that means that you're an asset and you're not a liability. So now I'm setting y'all up for something. I'm setting you up for something. Because if everybody looks at you like you liquid money, how come you don't look at yourself that you're liquid money? How come you don't look at yourself as you're an asset? How come you don't look at yourself that you're a commodity? How come? Everybody else does. There's something inside of Brother C that is very, very, could be very, very profitable for the Israelites. I look at myself as being liquid money. Yes, I am. I am liquid money. I am. I don't see myself as prey. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Lie, y'all ain't got that one yet. That's the punchline. I look at myself as a commodity. I look at myself as an asset, but an asset, a commodity, and liquid money for who? Everybody else is looking at me like that. How come I can't look at myself that and flip that? How come? Because I haven't been looking at myself properly. Everybody's life in here is an IP. Your life is an IP. How can you say that? Because if your life wasn't an IP, all these entities and people that my brother Elisha said come and take money out your pocket wouldn't be able to come and take money out your pocket. So that must mean that you have something to offer the earth. Have you ever looked at yourself that way? Okay, if people look at me like I'm liquid money, then I must be worth something then. Or people look at me, we were sold as commodity, we were sold as commodities. Okay, so I'm valuable then. Okay. We was an asset on Wall Street. Okay. Your life is an IP, and within that IP of your life, that intellectual property, you have several hundred different IPs that need to be brought to the earth. Just out of one life. Not for your benefit alone, but for the benefit of the kingdom. Your life is an intellectual property. Point blank, period. How about you flip that switch on your mind and said, okay, I'm not going to no longer be liquid money for the other people. I'm going to be liquid money to my own people so that we can grow, so that we can build. Your life is an IP. Your life is your intellectual property. And all the ideas that the Father gave you, He gave them to you for what reason? Why did He give them to you? That's right. We are builders of civilization, special people. That's right. So let's start acting like it. You got to look in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror and say that to yourself. We are the builder of worlds. There's not a kingdom that's been established that wasn't set up and used our intellectual properties to build it. Not one. And we not like them. I see that precept, bro. I'm going to start. Have you ever looked at your life as being a business? Have you ever looked at your life as being a business? You're in the business of living. That's a business. To even operate in this construct. Well, why would I want to look at my life as a business? Maybe so that you can manage it better. If you was responsible for something, would that help you to manage it better? Or think about managing it better? Think about being better with your time? You're in the business of living. You're in the business of life. You here on this earth, that's your business. But now another question comes out of that. Whose business are you doing? Because make no mistake about it. And it's not about commerce. Don't get it twisted. Your life is a business. You can go to work and put 40 hours of work in every week. Some of us put more because we got to commute. And yet you never thought about your life and how you're going to get all these things done. How you going to get, we go back in the slide. How you going to get all those things done and get your IPs done? Hmm? Next superpower on the globe is the Israelites. How you going to get there? The Father going to get us there. But there's a lot that you and I and everybody in the chat and all the puzzle of the Israelites are going to need to be doing something. You are. How come nobody ever told me that I should be looking at my life as a business and that I should be looking at myself? I've been saying we liquid money. I've been saying that. Y'all know I've been saying it. Y'all can go to the first video you ever heard me talk. Matter of fact, go to the Exodus that we put out in 2016. I said that people see you coming, they call you liquid money because they see you, they gonna get every nickel out of you. That's something right there. Now, what we doing is we just putting out templates, fam. These is just templates of thought. But I can see what I can see how the Father's doing, and I'll say it again. The Father is painting. He's putting together an awesome mosaic. It's so awesome what he's doing. I wish somebody could tell me what they see. You the next superpower on the globe. That's why everybody can do what my sister Joy said. Get every idea out of you, say, okay, and then they came with it. Your life is a business. You have thousands upon millions of IPs in just one of you. That's why I keep saying if I got 1,000 Israelites and you put us on the Isle of Misfit Toys, you could give me 500 male, 500 female. You could give me 700 male. It don't matter to break down. You put us on an island by ourselves, we'll take over the whole earth. We're not going to be sitting back waiting, twiddling our thumbs, talking about, oh, what we going to do next. Somebody put the precept up. If the Father be with you, who can be against you? And I'm not yelling, fam. I'm just a little bit animated. I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling, right? Put a one up if I'm not yelling. Because I said I'm going to go yell at y'all today. I'm going to put up some of these precepts and what the family is saying, because yes, indeed, this is a conversation. Jeremiah 10-16, the portion of Jacob is not like them. No, it's not like them. It never has been. That's why people can look at you and treat you so, call you an animal, treat you like a beast, but then at the same token, flip around and talk about, oh, can you help me with this here? For he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. That's right. Also going to be is that battle axe too, but that's favorite story right there. War Scrolls, that's favorite. And because the rest of this dovetail right into that. The Elohim of hosts is his name. Anytime you see a host, that means somebody getting ready to get their tail kicked. He already telling you Israel, the rod of his inheritance. Somebody getting ready to get the business. 1 Peter 2:9, but ye are chosen generation. He talking about you today. Look at you. Yeah, you. Every one of y'all, challenge every one of y'all. When you get off of this live stream, you go, you print this precept up, and you look in the mirror and you read this to yourself in the mirror. But ye are a chosen generation. He talking about you right now here today, and I could punch my hand against my fist without yelling. He talking about you right now. Chosen generation. A royal priesthood, your royalty and your chosen. He telling you that you royalty, a holy nation. your LSC, you keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. That's what make you holy. And then he go on to say you're peculiar, you're different. They could look at you and be marveling, talking about don't be like those niggers, and yet everybody can make money off of you. It's something about those Negroes in Brazil. It's something about those Negroes in Haiti. Something about them. Something about those Negroes in Germany. The dispersed. Ones that went through the killing fields of transatlantics that was dispersed all over the earth. Something different about them. It's always been something different about them brothers in the States. They don't rock like nobody else on the earth. The brothers and the sisters. I can't get along with them. Something about those brothers in Mexico. Something different. They hitting because you never hear nothing about them. Because the others, the Spaniards, is running Mexico, but that's an entirely different conversation. There's something different. You're peculiar people. The earth ain't even made it connected that all them people that's dispersed in all these different areas is related and they fam. Or maybe they have. Maybe they know. Putin, though. Ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. He called you out of the broad gate known as Christianity. He talked about this generation that he called out into light. Who is he talking about? This is an individual letter that he penned to you individually. Period. I'm gonna put that one up because that one's that's powerful right there. The sister say, "My father's business." That's right. Your father done put all the ideas in your mind and in your spirit for his bidding, for his will. You may think it's for your own will, but it's not. Yahweh business and the son. That's right. Often say if I take care of his business, he'll take care of my business. Mine never really thought about my life as being a business crazy, right? That's right. Sister say this is encouraging. Appreciate that, sis. Superpower. Learn to pronounce a very powerful and influential nation. You're a superpower. You calling the shots. If we was in our rightful place, would they be able to do Kanye West like that? Kanye West wouldn't even have to deal with those people if you was in your proper place. That's my prayer, is that we can get to a place where we don't give a damn about what nobody say or what they think. Because everything runs through us anyway. Don't care about what the few think. Who cares about what they think? But then be able to say that and live that. Two different things. How you gonna go from 7 billion to 400 million? How does that work? I didn't even know the brother was worth 7 billion until Brother Eliashar brought that out. I had no idea that brother was worth no 7 billion. 7 billion? With a B, not an M? What? How much power and influence that is? 7 billion? Man, you could make two moves and you'll be like Bill Gates. Y'all way down there, I'm way up here. That's 7 billion. That's that. I'm scared. I don't want to go outside money. I want to go outside. I want to stay in the house. Luke 2:49. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not that I must be about my father's business? That's what we should be about. For real, for real. Don't you know that the ideas, your life, your IPs came from him? And he wants you to not only be prosperous, not in the prosperity doctrine, that foolishness that came from hell. But he wants to prosper you so that you could do his will. Right now, our mind should be on kingdom building and building amongst ourselves, building up each other. I'm doing kingdom building by building up Israel, by building up the minds of Israel, by assisting in not only building up their minds, encouraging Israel, telling them how great they is, well, according to what's written. Well, how can you say that? Because the books say the kingdom is within you. So if I build up those that have the kingdom within them, that means I'm building up the kingdom. That's an IP. That's a key that your brother Cleo might have. I'm seeing these precepts, and these precepts is on point. I'm seeing it. Yes, he did know. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He absolutely knew. And guess who else know? He know exactly who we are. That's how he could say that the nation leadership is wicked Satan worshipers. Why you think they made that song about the sleeping Negro, the nigger sleeping toys? We played that. I think E played it. I think I played it on the show. Oh, sleeping Negro toys. We gonna attack while the Negro is sleeping. Well, guess what happened though? The AI bots couldn't predict that y'all was gonna awaken this hour. Y'all done threw a monkey wrench in the whole AI. Y'all done threw a monkey wrench in the heathen's plans. Once again, blame those goddamn Israelites for everything. These niggers are running around talking about Kanye West. That nigger's running around talking about that he's from the lost 12 tribe. That's such foolishness this nigger has. He's talking about they're the 12 lost tribes of Israel when the Jews are the 12 lost tribes of Israel. What are you talking about, man? Goddamn niggers are always messing things up. Man, I can't stand those niggers. Romans 8:31. What shall we say then to these things if there it is? I called this one. You have to come on the show at some time, bro. You have to come on the show. If the Father be for us, who can be against us? Is that a rhetorical question? The one that spoke everything into existence, if he be for you, who gonna be against you? I'm gonna move forward. So now we got some alternate thoughts to think about, some alternate templates. You are your greatest IP. Greatest people on the globe. Let's look at some alternate considerations. Now we're going to do this. Since we're saying that we're an IP, and since we're saying that our life is a business and business is life, then let's look at a business plan and look at business practices to help us with this management thing, right? Now this has a duality because, and this is going to be part one of a few parts. But if I'm a business and my life is a business, then I should be in the business of planning. That's why I said to you all earlier, go to Kingdom Conversation playlist. Look at those ones that we did on KC, Redeeming the Time, Faith Works, Plan and Execute, parts 1 and 2. What's the other one I like? Let's see here. And Where's Your Mind? Okay, so if you go look at some business practices, these business practices are really just modes and modalities to help you get organized with the two important resources, the one important resource, which two that you have, but the one that's really important, which is your time. helps you to get organized. Okay. And guess what? Everybody's going to do this exercise. I'm going to do it. Everybody's going to do it because I already admitted, said I wasn't organized. So I need to get organized too. Okay. So here's some of the advantages of thinking about things from an alternative business perspective. You get to start building in some discipline. Why? Because your word is bond. Structure. Okay, so I need structure. I'm gonna speak for myself on all of this. I need discipline and I need structure. Okay? And these are better advantages. I need to get organized. Structured and organized is two different things. Discipline is all of these are three different things. They are not the same thing. Now I can start thinking about goals for my life and how they fit in. And if I'm thinking about all of these things, I got to think about how I'm going to manage all of these things I have, which means that I'm probably not going to be able to sit down and watch the NBA so much. I'm probably not going to be able to watch Basketball Housewives or Dallas or what's that show, Jeopardy. I'm not going to be able to go to the Dallas Philadelphia football game. Well, maybe I might go to that if I get tickets. Like some of the brothers on the panel get tickets to that. But that's a different conversation. How much of these things have you written down? And see, I don't even know the order. Document it. Have you understood how powerful documenting, writing stuff down is? As you write stuff down, you free your mind up so the Father can pour more into your head. And if you're really smart with it, instead of writing it down on a pen and pad, which if you got writing like mine, that's not a good idea because sometimes you go back to it, you can't read it. You put it in Word or Notepad where it's documented. You need to get a habit of documenting. If you write something down, you stick with it, and you wrote it down. You be a person of your word, and you stick with it. Daily life checks. You can keep checking on yourself daily, and then you can measure your progress. We got to start thinking with not only a hive mind, but a more professional business mind. And not just being willy-nilly and flippant with this time that we got. Repeatability. Once you get stuff in order, like how my sister Maria Yakita, then you can get to the point where it becomes repeatable, where it's wash, rinse, and repeat. Not only for your life, but for your individual IPs as well. Because you got your life as an IP, but inside of that, you probably got 10,000 things that you want to do. I'm speaking for myself now. I have at least 10,000 IPs that I could be doing right now, but I have to take it one at a time, right? Or two at a time. Results. You can measure progress and you can see that it's repeatability, but you can actually physically see the results of what it is that you're doing. Mind you, we're all going to do this together. I'm going to do it with you. Profitability. We spoke about that. Profitability can be a number of things. It could be spiritual profitability. It could be spiritual growth. And everything is not just about financial zeros and ones, because that's all money is anyway, zeros and ones, unless you talk about the tangibles, right? Rhodium, platinum, palladium, silver, gold, that kind of stuff, money. Growth. We should be able to track our growth from where we are today, this day, 10/26/2022. And as we start building upon this idea of a life business plan, which is what we're doing, this business plan for our life. We start building upon this, building all of us building, and guess what's going to happen? I'm going to forecast for some of you. Some of you are going to get together, share your ideas, share your thoughts, and you're going to create some awesome things. I already know that. But I've been known that. I've known that for a long time. We can become more efficient in what we're doing because we're getting better with managing our time. Now we get into some of the more important things of it. The will of Him. Who's Him? And how is that different of doing his will? Well, you can know his will, but you got to be doing his will. And his will is for you to be doing what he put inside of you for the kingdom. And not just sitting around waiting for somebody to do something, which ultimately leads to success, which ultimately leads to legacy. What we're going to do is we're going to develop templates so that we can pass down these modalities and processes and procedures and workflows to our children and to their children and to their children. And now when I say we, I mean we are going to design and develop this. We are. And I'm not going to tell you what it's going to become, but we'll get to that at some point, because I'm not going to ruin it for y'all. Okay, so where do we start? Most of you are, I'm sure, are familiar with the business plan, but we're going to start with the first two components of a business plan. I'm going to go ahead and read what's on the screen. With the start of any business plan, you must start with a business plan, with the start of any business. So if your life is a business, you have to start with a business plan. So for this exercise, we'll call it a life plan. So instead of saying a business plan, we'll call it a business life plan or a life business plan or something along those lines, right? And then we're going to start focusing on the first two parts of the business plan. The first two parts of the business plan is, first one is the mission statement, and the second one is the SWOT analysis. Those are the first two things of any business plan. Is going to be the first two things of our life plan. The important thing is to use a method to document. Now, I keep saying document. You've heard manage, you've heard time, you've heard document, you've heard template. So it's going to be incumbent upon everyone that's on the panel, everyone that's in the chat. You're going to have to document these things. If you want to write it in a notepad, that's cool. I would prefer that you put it in Word or either Notepad on the computer. Only reason I do that because I have the worst handwriting in the history of man. I'll write something down. I know what I wrote. When I go back to read it, it's hieroglyphics. Can't read it.
Hey, Brother Cleo.
Go ahead.
Most people probably already know, but maybe some don't. Can you define SWOT?
I was going to get into that. I was going to get into that. I appreciate that. I will definitely tell you what that is. That's actually the next size. So keep in mind, family. I appreciate that, Hal. Here's what I'll do, because Hal mentioned it. A SWOT analysis is analysis of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's why it's acronym SWOT and an analysis. So you're going to have to do an analysis on your own life. You're going to have to write a mission statement for your own life, right? Now, here's the mindset that you must keep. This is very, very important. The mindset is that this document, this business life plan that we're creating, is going to be a living and breathing document, subject to change and subject to altering. So it's not in stone. There's not been a business plan that's been established by any business that's in stone. You have to be nimble enough to move and do add moves and changes as life comes at you, right? This only makes sense. It's only logical. So let's go to the next page. So first thing we talked about is writing an executive life summary. Now, what I did was I tailored this for the life plan, but this is typically what a executive summary is. This should consist of a mission statement and a brief summary of your life. It should include a brief description of where you began, where you are now, and where you plan on going, and any plans for future growth. Now, this is talking about your life specifically, not about any individual IP. Your life specifically. Okay? If you didn't catch that, hit the rewind. I'm going to keep it moving. So now, let's look at an example of a life executive summary. Okay? I'm going to read this. This should sound familiar to some of you. The kingdom of the Israelites need to start building for themselves. My life is going to be geared towards inspiring and motivate my brothers and sisters, do can't type, in the truth to be great. I want to use the gifts and talents I have to help them attain all that the Father has for them. I have been dirt poor, was in Christianity. However, I have come into the knowledge of who I am through the Ruach. I have also accepted my Israelite culture and live by it. My future goals are to do my part to help build the kingdom of the Israelites so that we can be the head and not the tail. That's an example of a life executive summary. Yours could be longer, it could be less, but this is actually what this executive life summary has a duality. It's your commitment to yourself, but it's ultimately between you and the Father. Because he governs your life. So this is exactly that. So let's go on to the next portion. Now, SWOT analysis, let me make this larger. Okay, so we gave the definition of what a SWOT analysis is. A SWOT is strengths. And so I took this from a website, and the credit is at the bottom where I got it from. So strengths, you list your strengths, and these are things your company does well, qualities that separate you from your competitors, internal resources such as skilled, knowledgeable staff, tangible assets such as intellectual property. We heard that somewhere before. Proprietary technologies, etc. Intellectual property and your proprietary technologies are two different things, but they're actually the same thing when it comes to the Israelites. Weaknesses. So then next you want to outline your weaknesses, and you need to be honest with yourself. Nobody else may see your life plan, but you need to be honest with yourself. I'm gonna be honest with myself. Things your company lacks, or things you lack as an individual, things your competitors do better than you, resource limitations, and unclear, unique selling propositions. So mind you, this is coming from a business perspective. We're gonna do this, and you'll see on the next slide what it is. And so I'm not gonna read what opportunities are, and then you're going to read what threats are, and you're gonna see and write down what you feel and envision as some of the threats are. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here's an example of a SWOT analysis done from the perspective of a life business plan or business life plan. So strengths. Some of the strengths are structured, organized, goal-driven, document, and planning. Let's see here. The next one is weaknesses: procrastinating, time management, consideration or being considerate, prioritizing things effectively, having good follow through, not dropping the ball, and then the adage of quality versus quantity, right? Next one, opportunities. The opportunities are spiritual growth, IP development. So as I get better with managing my life from a business perspective or looking at it from a business lens, I'll be able to do better IP development. I'll also get better with executing his will, because his will is for me to get developed to be all that I can be. I'll be able to improve my time. That's another opportunity. Profitable growth, repeatability, and legacy. I want to be able to teach my children's children, these principles based on what we develop, because that's going to impact my legacy. And lastly, the threats. What are the threats? I want you guys to put some of the threats in the humor me on this one, fam. Humor me on this one. Put some of the threats that you believe is a threat, what you think will be a SWOT in your SWOT analysis. I want to see some of these some of the comments because we're about ready to close out, believe it or not. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you with this one. Then we're going to wait a week, and then we'll do a different show next week. We won't go bang 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 because I'm going to give everybody's going to have time to think about it and do it right, right? But I do want to hear what some of the threats are. And so I see this one right here. This is right here. Edom and these other nations. That's a threat. Brothers on the panel, can you guys give me some threats? What you perceive as threats? No, so
UA community.
What's happening?
The UA community.
Okay, you guys have got. I want to spend some time on this one. I really want to get. If the family could indulge me, if you please could indulge me, I want to get some of your thoughts on this one because this one is very, very important. And this is ultimately going to morph into something else. But I do want to get your thoughts. Sometimes negative thoughts. Okay, what else? Any brother on the panel got something to add to that? What they think a threat is?
I would say probably the main threat would be if we're looking at it from you mean from an individual standpoint or from a collective standpoint?
You can. I would say right now individually. We'll start there. Give me your individual perspective, and then give me the collective perspective that you have.
As far as depending on what you're trying to accomplish, one of the biggest threats I would say would be a lack of resources. You know what I mean? Like a lack of just basic resources, things that you would really need, and then a lack of unity. You know, getting people to really back what you're doing, your own people. You know, back what you're doing, but for the most part, just a lack of proper resources and the know-how to put them resources to good use, effective use.
That's powerful because that's been one of the things that I'm going to just speak for myself personally. That's been one of the things that have kept me from achieving great things. Oh, and it's not to say that it's not going to happen, but being resource poor, will potentially hinder you. And I said potentially, but you're absolutely correct. Without resources, you won't be able to do anything. I'm going to read some of these comments because these comments are bomb, really, truly. And I appreciate all of you, everybody who's still here. If you would, please, I want you to put a thread in because, again, this is not for us so much. It's for those that come along later and have the chat running. Okay, so my sister, unorthodox daughter of Zion, says, discouragement, taking on too much, and procrastination. Yep, indeed. Indeed. Sister Lynn says, being unrecognized and no one on my side or have faith in me. That's powerful. All of these are powerful. Tearing down your motivations, positive thoughts. Yeah, and somebody get the precept where bring every thought and mind under subjection. Somebody go get that. Because you Israelites should have full command of that. I should have full command of my own thoughts. And really, when we're on the verge of doing something great, that's when you'll get the flood of dumb thoughts coming into your mind. Because they want to discourage you. They want to stop you. They, the invisible ones who we tighter than. They know who I'm talking about. They know who they is. I like talking about them because they're not worth a hill of beans. Unorthodox daughters are impatience. That's correct. moving at the proper time when it's supposed to be when you're supposed to be moving, versus moving and getting ahead of yourself when you should be playing it slow and you going too fast. Or you have what's this one right here? Quality versus quantity is a weakness. Where okay, you just did a great quality, but there's not enough of it. Or you gave me all of this great thing, but the quality's not good. You plan and don't see the type of results you hope for, or as fast as you want them to happen. Let's talk
That's a
about
good
there's a
one.
time. There's a time behind all of this. It's timing. What'd you say, E? I'm sorry.
That one up on the screen. That's a good one because that a lot of times this happens often, especially with our people, and that just goes back to the lack of support. You know, oftentimes you start something and because it may not jump off the way you want it to, you get discouraged. You know, that's a real good one.
Not knowing that as soon as you dropped off. I don't know if you guys heard the story of the dude that was digging for gold, and he was digging, and he was a foot from the gold vein, but he said, "Oh man, I'm done." Somebody bought the gold mine, went over a foot, and struck gold. Exact same thing. Let's read. JPM says 2 Corinthians 10:5, casting down imaginations. This is the one I call. Casting down imaginations. When you sitting there thinking about something, when you sitting there and all of a sudden some goofy thought into your mind, you think that's from you or is that from something else? Don't lay claim to all these goofy thoughts that enter into your mind as yours. And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Father. If you hear some heathen or either your own people on YouTube or anywhere else talking about not to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, they exalted themselves above the Father. The Father already spoke what he said it was. Once he said what it was, that's what it was. And guess what, fam? When he said those things and spoke those things, guess what? They're still resonating on the earth. Somebody get the precept where he say he changed not. And the punchline to this, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. Every thought, not partially. So when these dumb thoughts come into your mind, man, we got to have the ability to bring them under subjection. You can't fool me with trying to trick me by trying to put something into my mind, because I know that's the play. I know that's the battlefield, right? We all know that, right? Mind is the battlefield. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and expose what the threat is. The threat is myself. I'm the threat. I'm the biggest threat to me. I am. If the precept is true, if the Father be for you, who can be against you? If I believe that and I know that to be true, then none of the threats that was named can hold a candle to what me rocking out with the Father will do and be. But if I listen to those thoughts coming into the battlefield from behind, you notice that most of these dumb thoughts come from behind. At least for me, that's how it is. Like they whisper in my ear from behind. Yeah, do that dumb thing, or yeah, no, that's not how it's gonna be, brother. See, it's gonna be this. Yeah, brother, go ahead and get discouraged. Go ahead and stop. You listening to some other goofball, some maybe it's a person in your family. And that's why I want you guys to go and listen to those other programs that we did. Because you need to be rocking out with people that love you, that care about you, that have a like mind as you. So that you can live like how the book say, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I'll be in the midst. I'm the only one that can stop me. The only one. Thanks, Elisha. I'm going to put that up. That's the one I called. Elisha gave me that. I'm going to go ahead and put it up. Appreciate it, bro. That's the one I called. Your father said he's changed not. Malachi 3:6. For I am thy Elohim, I change not. So if he ain't changed, what you got to be afraid of then? He was rocking out back then with Israel. He forecast to be rocking out with you right now. I don't think a lot of people believe. I really don't. I believe the folks in the chat believe. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. You sons of Jacob, the whole earth is going to hell. The heathens getting destroyed. The whole earth ain't going to hell. The heathens just getting ready to get their ass whooped. That's all. Forgive me for saying that, but I had to say it that way. I'm sorry. Y'all know I need to get saved. Y'all know that. What's that there? What is that? Matthew 14:30. Wait a minute. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go back. What's that? He said somebody go get the precept. That's from a precept that's in that book that y'all claim. You walking on water, you got faith, then you look down and then you sink, you drop right to the bottom. And I didn't yell, fam. I just snapped my finger. I wasn't yelling. I'm sorry. Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, there it go right there.
Yo,
What's
brothers.
up, bro? Go ahead, bro.
I don't know if any of you. I mean, not to interrupt what we're talking about, but and I hope brothers don't be offended at me saying this. This a brother that's an Israelite, man. He got a post on Facebook of him and his kids out on the street, man. And he asking for help. I don't know if any brothers seen this stuff, man, but he got a sign up saying he got his kids sitting on the curb, man. He's talking about he in a situation, and I don't know if people in the chat has seen this post, but he got his Cash App up talking about him and his son, his kids, or whoever is on the street. And I don't know if anybody in the chat wanna, or anybody wanna, take, put $5 or $10 in this man's Cash App. I know, I mean that's like just throwing it out there, but I just seen it, and like, man, once you see something like that, it's, it's hard to like just turn. You can't like turn your head from it. So, I don't know if anybody has moved because I can tell the brother. I can put the link in here and y'all can check it out for yourself. If you want to vet this dude, vet whoever it is, man. But his name on Facebook is Lawrence Yashra Allah McIntyre, and he has a post up. He has a sign in his hand saying, I guess his Cash App is the Son of the Most High. And I'll put the link so y'all can see this video of this guy, man, and just to see for yourself, and move to help the brother, you know. So I'm hoping brothers, I ain't out of line for just stopping us in the middle to say that.
Okay, so what I will say to that is that before we do anything, we have to do things decency and in order, number one. And so what I will recommend to the family is this: if you are so inclined to do that, fam, you should do some sense of vetting, and then move appropriately. That's what I'll say to that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward to my final thoughts on what we just saw. So my final thoughts are this, fam. Time is short, and when I say time is short, time is winding really, really fast. Israel get 1,000-year reign once that clock starts. And that's not upon us. But the time is winding fast. It seems short. A 24-hour day now seems like an 8-hour day. So what should we be doing? We should be getting busy doing the Father's will. Point blank, period. And so I'm gonna let the brothers give their final thoughts. We're gonna close out. Next week, we're not gonna come with the continuing to this. We're not gonna come with part 2 of this. Next week, we're not gonna bang on the heathen either, because we could give a flying flip about what they doing. We're not gonna come with Ye, the artist Kanye West, formerly known as Kanye West Ye. But y'all already see that's playing out. That became a big old giant conflagration, just like we said it was when we first brought it. This is bigger than what it is. So we'll come with something. I got a whole a notepad or a note of a bunch of different types of things. But if you guys have something that you want me to go into, I got stuff we could go into. But if you got something that you want me to go into, just hit me and let me know, and we'll definitely go into that. Bro, if you got that link, man, go ahead and drop that link in so that we can put that link up to what you were saying about the brother that's in need. And we should always be apt to definitely to help the family, especially when you see it. I haven't seen what you're talking about, but for those of you, after you've done your vetting, go ahead and make sure that you do something for the brother, if that makes sense. So I'm done, fam. I'm done with the presentation for today in this conversation. I'm going to go ahead and let the brothers have the last words. But before I do that, I appreciate you, fam, for bearing with the old head brother C, and taking the time to bear with me and listen to my babblings and my goings on. And I didn't yell at y'all today, which is a first, right? that ain't the first time I ain't yelled at y'all. Hey, brother Elisha, go ahead and drop that link, bro, so the fam could
Yeah, I put the link
vet the
inside.
brother.
I put the link inside the chat,
It's in the private.
so
Okay, cool.
so you can check
Let me
it
see. I'm gonna
out.
go ahead and copy it, and then I'm gonna drop it there. Fam, if you are so inclined, make sure that you go ahead and move appropriately. There's the link right there to the brother's page. So go ahead and do your vetting, and if you feel so led by the Father to contribute to this brother's case, please, you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm gonna give the brothers on the panel the last words, and then we're gonna close out. Starting with brother E. Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, I just want to say shalom to you, brother Cleo, to brother Najee, brother Lasha, and to all the brothers and sisters in the chat. I want to thank everybody for all of the support and encouragement that y'all give to this channel, as well as other channels, other brothers and sisters doing work for the Most High. And so on that note, peace and blessings to everybody. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. Shalom.
Shalom, brother. Appreciate you joining on as usual. Brother Elisha, what say you, brother?
All right, well, peace, and can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine,
Yeah,
bro. Rock.
peace and blessings to all the Israelite family, my brothers on the panel. Oh, man, we just got to be mindful of our situation. And I'm gonna just throw this out there. You know, just as a quick recap, and I know we kind of off the subject, but I want to say it anyway. You know, regarding Kanye, and we talked about this some days ago about how this man's net worth was $7 billion, September 19th, $4 billion a week ago. Now $400 million as of today. Now these, you know, I don't know why we don't take this as a stab at us and as a nation, that this man has really not said anything against these fake ass Jewish people they got out there that's sitting in our land, you know, living in our houses, getting billions and billions of dollars a year in reparations that should belong to us, established as a nation while we live in the ghettos and the slums under the foot of our oppressors. These people is living our life under our name while we running around with last names like Harrison, Robinson, and all this other bull crap that we call ourselves upholding, and we don't seem to think nothing's wrong with it. And this dude barely said anything about these Jewish people other than the fact that we Jews, and these people is outright ruining him, and we sitting in the cut like this is not a shot at our people, like we don't know the history of how they've robbed us of our heritage.
throw us in the slums, mass incarcerate us, murder us, destroy our families, use television and radio to slander our people, and we sit back and we go to work every day like we don't care if this stuff change, and we congregate in little groups like this stuff is going to change anything. We don't start putting something online, you know. So we should be outraged as a nation that this stuff is happening, because it's not just really a smack in the face regarding this dude. Because I don't care about his money. Hell, I don't even like how he got it. But that is a smack in the face against our people. That when this man says slavery was a choice, nobody touched a goddamn dime of this man's money. Nobody was offended for our sake. This man make a half-ass attempt to slight these fake-ass Jewish people, and now they want to plunder and ruin this dude, and they're using our people to do it to the four corners of the earth. So Israel, man, we got to really look at ourselves in the face. How long are we going to let these people attack our people and do nothing? I guess all I got to say.
I appreciate that. The only comment I got to say is that you need to get your weight up. Get your weight up, and nobody could push you around and move you around like you a chess piece. Have you jumping out the window, slandering your brother, talking all foolish manner oons. Appreciate that word, Brother Elijah. Brother Najee, you get to close us out, bro.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks, Brother Cleo. Brother Lasha, man, I echo your words. A good word, bro. Good to hear it. Everybody on the panel, Brother Eric, man, always good to see you. Brother Cleo, the Most High has truly blessed you in the way you speak to the people and the way you kind of lead us forward in looking at ourselves and our IPs and what we're worth. So I thank the Most High for you, and I thank the Most High for this opportunity to sit on this panel with you and sit under this teaching. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, as always, great to see you all. Until next time, God bless.
All praise to the Father. This has been another Salt of the Earth production. You better do. You better get saved.